And welcome! Welcome to Sea Duckling Open number 126, the monthly Diamond and Below tournament by CranKy Ducklings. And we are already loading to our first game, where we have the two of our players. I will triple check this, but I believe we actually have an Aussie on Aussie match. Where in the top right corner we have the green Protoss player. It is FizzSerpent. And in the bottom left corner we have the blue Terran player, who you might have seen in the Discord, you might have seen in the chat as a random user, but he's also known as werehog. Or trash cannot. It's a trash can, not trash cannot. Shaking my head. But anyway, yes, welcome. We are here in our monthly Diamond tournament. Quite a few players have signed up today, and we will see how they do. Oh boy. Oh boy, it's time to get into things. We are starting on a very interesting map because we are starting on Postube, which is definitely not the most favorite map among the players. It has this interesting base over here, this half gold for a natural base. And it looks like both of our players will be expanding there. Of course. Werehog going for a Reaper expand. And the probe gets in. The Reaper is out, so the probe will be shot down, but it does scout around. I'm not sure if it saw the base. No, it just barely didn't see the base, but I mean, it has seen enough. It has seen that there's nothing weird going on. Nothing too fishy. Predictions. Yes, I was like, I'm missing something, am I? Predictions are now open. Oh, there you go. There you go. We got it. We got there eventually. The Reaper tries to scout across the map, but there is a stalker there to chase it away. Also, werehog setting up this bunker over here to make sure that both of the ramps are pretty nicely covered in case anything shows up. Stalker is actually going all the way across the map. Interesting. I'm not sure if that was intentional or if just it was stuck chasing the Reaper. There is a second one in the base, and the Reaper is indeed diving again. Once again, the Stalker is really intent on chasing the Reaper. FizzSerpent does not want werehog to see this, and he's making a lot more Stargates actually. I'm not sure if the warp gate was a bit delayed or if this was all planned. But that's a lot of Stalkers right on the beginning of the game, before the warp gate is even done. And we go for a Robo next. With these four Stalkers, FizzSerpent will try to put some pressure on werehog. We have 4 Marines and a bunker, so that should definitely help with the defense, but there's no factory units yet. We are making Widow Mines, but I don't know how Widow Mines do versus Stalkers, honestly. They do not have blink or anything, of course, so they can't quite dodge, but yeah, this is just Widow Mines for a drop, and it's not a committed one either, just 2 of them. Oh, I think the Reaper dived in again. Medivac slowly going across the map. We'll try to attack this gold base. I mean, there are no defenses here really, so it may be a good idea to do so actually. There are no stalkers, no shield batteries, no nothing. Eight probes. Not dramatic, but it's still a pretty good shot for those two Widow Mites. And FizzSerpent definitely will feel that loss. Now we have an observer which will try to protect us from these mice. Whereas the medivac gets caught by those stalkers, but it does boost away. Oh, but that one reinforcing stalker actually does snipe it. Very nicely done by FizzSerpent. As he is setting up that third base. Stalkers are out on the map. Blink is on the way. Werehog is still building up his production. He's not even setting up the third base. He has a Raven, he has a tank now. The tank will definitely help in this defense, but with Blink it may get sniped. The thing is, the Blink is not even close to being done, and still FizzSerpent tries to attack up this ramp with two tanks now. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's a good idea. One of the stalker falls already, some of them are damaged, but the Raven goes a bit too far. Werehog overextends with the Raven and does lose it. More reinforcing stalkers. Blink is now more than halfway done. They're just dancing in the water. Werehog scans across the map, sees all the tech that's going on. Sees the Blink on the way. Obviously he doesn't know that it's Blink, but you can assume with this many stalkers. When he's going across the map, I mean the observer sees everything, and I mean, to be fair, like those stalkers are falling pretty quickly to the Marines. The tanks do get sniped, which is very important, but the Marines do seem to be doing well with the rest of the army. One of the Immortal goes down as well, the second one too, and now almost the entire army of FizzSerpent is gone. He has to go back home, but what is home? I mean, we have a few stalkers, we have that Immortal. And Werehog sees that too and decides maybe not to engage with this small bio army now. There are reinforcements on the way though, but that's still just bio. There is no factory support in this army. And honestly, it doesn't even look like Werehog is making it. Yeah, he has this one tank, but there's no other factory units in production. Now we have another tank on the way. But as we know, man with gun is pretty good, as they are demolishing this third base. There are some High Templars here, but Storm is not even halfway done. So all they can do is turn into Archons, but now the army is a bit trapped between this Immortal, but like, the Immortal is a nice pick there though. Like, I feel like it's worth losing all of those Marines if you can pick those key units. Medivac is a bit painful, but still, Werehog gets some good damage out of this. And the rally point is directly under this observer, so FizzSerpent sees absolutely everything that Werehog is preparing. Sees everything that is coming his way, sees how much army there is, what kind of army it is, so again, vision is so important in StarCraft 2. And now FizzSerpent can pressure this third base. Will most likely get cancelled. Ooh, actually gets killed. Werehog does not cancel in time. Now this tank is trying to help with the defense, but it is being sniped. Another tank comes to reinforce, but the bio army is starting to melt. But the same can be said about the Protoss though. It turns out those few Marauders are enough to deal with the Stalker army. The Zealots come to reinforce, but they're not enough. Finally, Finally, we deal with the Observer. At the same time, we have the drop in the main base of FizzSerpent. 11 probes going down and possibly more as they are being transferred away. Also, the entire infrastructure is under attack. And with that, that is enough. GG is called. Werehog will be taking game number 1. GG's to Werehog. Even though again he did not have many factory units, which surprised me quite a lot. It turns out that Man with Gun is just that good, and it was enough to overpower this Protoss pressure. To be fair, I mean, FizzSerpent was also fairly aggressive with his units. Like, he was often attacking like upper ramp or like, you know, just walking in with smaller forces, and you know, that doesn't always pay off. Like, the Protoss units are tanky, but they're not that tanky. Yeah, hello to everyone in the chat. We have quite a few chatters. We have Prometheus, a new chatter. We have Talimo, we have Pyroid, we have Steel Mode, of course. Stick is here. We have Aistan. Who else do we have today? Yaku. Yaku is playing. We will look at the bracket right after this series is over. We have Shiva Blaster. Oh, and of course, shout out to Shiva Blaster for subscribing for 32 months. That is a lot of months. We had Legoland Man dropping in earlier. Easy Feel as well. And Chance, yeah, Chance dropped by on the very beginning. Chance has played this tournament before. I believe last time he took 2nd place, no? I think so. And with this, since we have a little bit of time waiting for the place to be ready, I would like to give a quick shout out to Jado, because for those who don't know, he is the one who made a nice little app, I guess you can say, for us that helps us with the predictions on the channel, that lets us connect to the casting tool by pressure, and that way we can easily set up the predictions for the stream. But not just that, recently Jadov has also started working on a scene switcher, so now no longer do we have to manually switch the scenes, we can actually rely on Jadov's scene switcher to do that for us. So great shout out to Jadov. He's been making a lot of neat tools for the streamers lately, and make sure to check him out. He's also a streamer himself, and I mean, the tools he makes mostly for himself, but like, you know, they're also helpful for others, and sometimes he takes requests. But anyway, we are now in game 2 and we went into Ghost River. we went to Ghost River, and in the top left corner we have the first of our players. It is the green Protoss, FizzSerpent. And across the map we have the red Terran player. Definitely not the best color scheme, but you know, it will do. We have the red Terran representing the donkeys. It is Werehog. Also, whenever I see Trash Cannot, because obviously that's the play on the word Trash Can, I just remember the one quote from Crank where he said, "I am trash, but I can be recycled." So, with that in mind, as the motto, yes, you can be recycled. You can still become something useful. Yes, we have our logo. There you go. The tag is here. I did remember to change logos mod still mode. It's right there. Once again, both of our players taking their expansions, and once again the probe does get into the base. The Reaper is about to pop out, so... Ooh, the probe actually gets trapped in the base. Nicely done by werehog there. And with a bit of a pathing there, the SCV is able to take it out. The Reaper is actually scouting for proxies. I mean, fair, with considering how aggressive FizzSerpent has been in the previous game. Like, he didn't do anything cheesy, but he was definitely putting on the pressure. Like, it definitely makes sense to make sure that nothing weird is going on. Chance is still in the chat. I hope you're resting well, Chance, because I think Chance is just, you know, chilling before bed. It is decently late in the lands of Oz. As the Reaper does go down to the Stalker. Let's see how much werehog has actually seen. I mean, he's seen most things. He's seen basically everything that it seems like there's no tech thrown down yet. He saw that there's a base, he saw that there are 2 gates, all the pylons are in place. So there is nothing to worry about. Once again, we have 2 stalkers this time going across the map. There is a bunker already, so werehog is prepared. Of course, the stalkers can still poke at that wall, and that still can be quite annoying, but nothing too dangerous should be going on. And this time, FizzSerpent actually decides to stay back home, to take his stalkers and, you know, focus on defending. Oh, so no. No, werehog is not going to play mech. I hope. As I look at the production tab. No, we have barracks on the way. There is no mech. And we also do have that Widow Mine drop once again. Once again, only 2 Widow Mines. And oh, that pro may see it. Oh, just barely. Just barely it misses the Medivac. That's crazy. The Medivac goes around the probe. I mean... Yeah, this is a big main base. I don't know if FizzSerpent will be able to spot it in time. How did I become the logo? But I don't know. I don't know still more why you're the logo enforcement agency, but apparently every time you tell me about logos mod somehow. So enjoy your new role? Question mark. Ooh, this time stalkers are ready again. They did not go across the map, so they were ready for this drop, and the Widow Mines do absolutely nothing. They are safe though, which is important. They can be useful later, but definitely not now. Oh, there's even a spotter pylon at the very top. That said, once again, it looks like FizzSerpent is amassing stalkers. Blink is almost done. And I think once again he will be trying to be aggressive across the map. Oh, was that the Medivac? I think this was the Medivac. Yeah, the Medivac with the 2 mines tried the other side. And the stalkers were there to respawn. The spotter pylon paid off. And see, this is much better defense by FizzSerpent. Again, vision is key, and this time FizzSerpent makes sure that he has the vision, that he has the forces to defend. Now he goes across the map, but there is a tank on the high ground. He can't quite snipe it from this position. Blink is done now though. So if he can find some high ground vision, he may be able to blink in. There's a Raven there, but... I mean, Raven on its own... I mean, it would be able to see an observer, but can it kill it? Like, I guess it can drop a turret, but I'm not sure if that's enough. Meanwhile, FizzSerpent taking his third base. And werehog decides to move out. These stalkers are in a bit of a danger, but only the bio army goes forward. And this spotter pylon will be taken down. Werehog is aware of the third base as he scans across the map. Oh, and he tries to take the third base of his own, but the stalkers are ready. He even makes it on spot and immediately loses it. Oh, that's unfortunate for werehog. He was not paying attention to his third base and the stalkers just snipe it. The observer gets sniped as well, so there is no high ground vision for FizzSerpent. Link in will not be happening, and the entire Terran army is moving forward with 4 tanks to support. And hold on, there's no robo unit. There are absolutely no robo units on the map. The first immortal is only on the way now. The zealots will try to take down the tanks, and they will deal with the 2, but there are still 2 more. The third gets sniped, but while doing so, FizzSerpent loses a lot of these stalkers. The zealots do not have charge, so they have a bit of a trouble getting to the army, especially with a line of marauders in the front, which are slowing them down. The tank is still doing a lot of damage, and the marines are helping as well. Now we have a shield battery with overcharge here, so that will help FizzSerpent hold this position for a little bit longer. Oh, even gets the tank, which was retreating. Retreating. But now the reinforcements for werehog are here, and these stalkers are starting to go down. There's a lot of marauders in this army, which definitely do pretty well against stalkers. FizzSerpent tries to go for the static defense instead, getting some cannons. The immortal now joins the army as well. FizzSerpent is going for the upgrades, no charge though. He is not getting charged, which I think could be a bit useful with all these zealots that he's making. He is working on a storm instead, but it will be a while before that's ready, and werehog is attacking right now. Nice snipe of the tank though. The zealots do get to it in time. Ooh, and the marauder army is actually going down. It's starting to melt. The immortals still standing. The stalkers do fall down though, so these immortals don't have a lot of support, but that was really nicely done by FizzSerpent, and he deals with a lot of that army. Oh, that one marauder didn't get the memo. Ah. But they went home. All of them. Ah. Well then. We still have this spotter pylon here at the top, and looks like werehog will be taking it down. Oh, the marauder joined in. Look, he found his way home. And we have a drop in that natural base of FizzSerpent. Oh, actually maybe not. Looks like we will be going all the way to the main, but by the time that Medivac reaches it, there are order reinforcements is in FizzSerpent's base, and in the end it's just a scouting Medivac. It will see this 4th base by FizzSerpent though, as at the same time the main army is going across the map. We'll say though that the Protoss army is not very big. There are High Templars there which can use the storms, but there's not a lot of support for them. The first of them is already very low. I think FizzSerpent is trying to bait the army of the Terran to go into the stroke point so he can get some nice storms, but it's not really happening. Anyway, the drop does get cleaned up. Ooh, the High Templars are being targeted. Two of them fall down, and the Immortal is in danger as well. Yeah, both of the Immortals do fall. The Protoss reinforcements are here, but they already lost some key units. The tanks are struggling to fight in this, as there's a lot of movement going around, and they do both get sniped, and it looks like Protoss has just enough to repel the Terran. And with that, GG's called. FizzSerpent will be tying up the score 1-1. So yeah, I mean, in game 1, Werehog was the one controlling the situation, but in game 2, FizzSerpent has tightened the defense, and the game went so much better for him. He prevented completely the Widowmine drop. He defended from the other drops coming his way as well. He has denied the third base once again, completely sniped the third base. It was killed, it was not cancelled. And even though he was not able to get a direct attack on the Terran, like he was not able to get into the base, like he was able to control the map enough to just not let the Terran progress. And with that we are going to map number 3. Once again, as a reminder, this is loser's pick. The first map is on the bracket, but the next maps are picked by whoever lost the previous one. Let's see. Let's see how it goes in game number 3, because again, game number 1 was definitely very werehog favored, but game number 2 went really well for FizzSerpent, so I wonder what happens in game number 3, like who will be the one to take advantage. As we have loaded into Alcyone, or Alcyone, it is, in the bottom left corner, the green Protoss. It's FizzSerpent. And across the map, his opponent is the red Terran, representing the donkeys. It's werehog. Aye. As again, both of our players starting rather calm. There doesn't seem to be anything cheesy. FizzSerpent sending that scouting probe after the first gateway. Ah, Mr. Duck. Ah, hello, Mr. Duck. Yeah, for those who don't know, it's Alan the Duck. And if you know that meme, then you've been here for a long time. The probe does get chased away. Doesn't get killed this time though, as it was much earlier, so the Reaper was not out yet. And both of our players are expanding. Once again, werehog going for the Reaper expand, and FizzSerpent going for an expand before core. I think that was before core. So, economic openers on both sides. The SCV go? I think the SCV might have been killed. No, I think so. Hold on. No, it must have just went home, okay. I was like, was it like following it all the way across the map? No, apparently it wasn't. It did go back home. Once again, werehog is scouting for proxies. He's scouting those edges of the map, making sure that FizzSerpent is not going for anything fishy. There is a Stalker ready and prepared for this Reaper, but that doesn't stop it from getting into the base. Let's see how much it will be able to see though. Yeah, not very much. Does not see the tech. Only sees the mineral line, so not ideal for werehog, but again, there is no proxy happening, there is no cheese happening, so he has nothing to worry about. He does still get that bunker, just in case. You know, a lot of Terrans just get the bunker by default in the TVP matchup. Oh, and we have a Verrion this time coming out. We did not see any Verrions in the previous games. The Stalkers try to get in and they will force these Marines to unload. SCVs are helping as well. That's a very committed defense there by werehog. But it's just a few Stalkers. They're not quite able to get into the Natura base yet. At the same time that Verrion is sneaking by into the main base. Yeah, straight into the main base. There is no wall there whatsoever. That said, it does take it a while to kill the probes, especially because it's not really focusing the fire, as it looks like werehog is not paying all of his attention to that Verrion, but now it may get a better position actually. Oh no, decides against it. FizzSerpent was not chasing it, but yeah, the Verrion will be forced to move out or yeah, just shut down completely. Once again, we have those two Widow Mines moving across the map. There are no defenses actually, and the Stalkers are moving out, so this time it doesn't look like there will be a defense, and all of the tech is dropped at the same time by FizzSerpent. Across the map we have some Marines, we have that bunker from earlier, so I think werehog should be fine. And let's see how these mines go. Oh, werehog is undecided. I think he sees the Stalkers and decides to focus on the defense first. Bunker definitely helps a lot, and the Stalkers are getting low. So again, we're moving the Medivac, but it's not quite getting into the base. The tank is now in the natural, and that should be enough to fend off the Stalkers. So I assume the Widow Mine drop should be coming soon, but werehog has been waiting on that. Oh, we're moving in. Let's see. Let's see how much this Widow Mine drop can do. 5. 5 is okay. Considering how late that pull was, I think we could have gotten more damage, but FizzSerpent saves most of his workers. And he's also taking a third base. Ooh, but the drop is not going in the right direction and goes straight into the Stalkers and gets immediately shut down. So no more Widow Mine drops from werehog for the time being. Once again, werehog is taking that third base on location. And it is now on FizzSerpent to deny it, as he has done it in both games before. Like, it may be a little bit risky that werehog decides to always build on the low ground. Ooh, that Raven also gets spotted, and it does get pretty low. I think he was trying to send it for harassment, but didn't quite work out. Meanwhile, at the third base, the Stalkers try to press, but this time we do have 2 tanks set up, so this base will be going up. And once again, the players are getting better from game to game. Like, you know, werehog did lose that third base multiple times, and you know, he decided to commit a little bit more defensive to it this time, and it will be going up safely. So those small adjustments really matter in the end. Like, you know, the game state looks very different if you are able to secure those bases. Oh, as both armies are about to meet in the middle, there's a lot of bio army here, some Marauders as well. The Stalkers are on the front and they are getting stuck in this maze. The Terran is chasing. werehog does not let this go. And he is taking unit by unit. The Protoss army is getting smaller. Storm is halfway done. We have some High Templars here, but they're not quite useful yet. Yeah, the shield battery here definitely helps, but not when it's being fired upon by the tanks. The scans give the vision to werehog, and he's able to siege this base. FizzSerpent will try to go around, will try to snipe his tanks, but the bio army is here to react. Very nice position there from werehog. Paying attention to the movement of the Protoss, making sure his tanks are well protected, and he's taking building by building, and the army walks into the tank range. All of it is going down. That one immortal stands strong, but it's not enough to defend this army, and with that, GG is called. werehog will be taking this match 2-1. So GG to werehog. Very nicely done. Then once again, the players have been improving game to game. Each game they fixed those little mistakes, and each game they were just playing better. So very nicely done there, and with that, werehog will be moving on to the next round. And let us both see, actually, let us all see, I should say, what the bracket looks like. Let me update the score. Yeah, you should be seeing it on your screen now. And we had quite a good turnout today for the tournament, and again, werehog does advance with a 2-1 score to those quarterfinals. Meanwhile, in the other places on the bracket, we had Chromosoma versus Captainfisch. Captainfisch took that series 2-0 and is now playing Radar in the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, Maar took Moonpl, which I can only assume maybe Belisarius. I am not sure. So I'll have to check on that. Actually, let me see if I can see it now. No, it looks like it may be another player called Moon. But Maar takes them down 2-0. Where is Maar from? Okay. Meanwhile, we have Lochka versus Demarcio. I am pronouncing all of this wrong. That's amazing. It's still going on in round 1, as well as Tricky and versus Verrion. Meanwhile, Yakuzaku took Malikus Prime 2-0 and is now in the quarterfinals, waiting for his opponent, and so is Legoland Man. Now Legoland Man is a favorite of some, especially because of his name. And just so you know, I enjoy saying his name, like Steel Mode, because I know you're in the chat. You know how Papa Panda is a thing. You know how you enjoy saying Papa Panda. Legoland Man has a good vibe as well. Like it just feels good to say it a lot of times. But anyway, it's time to get ready for our next series. Let me just invite them to party, because it looks like the players are not in a party yet. Okay, let me first set up so I can have that ready. Currently waiting for the players to join the lobby, and then we'll be there. Legoland1, who is in the chat, is asking if somebody is checking the MMR of the players, and that is the case. That is what Light VIP is doing. Light VIP is the admin of this tournament. He is the one managing the players as I am casting. Normally he is the caster, but for our amateur tournaments he is the one adminning, and that is his task exactly. He is checking the rank of the players. He's making sure that they have the required games, because that's why we have the minimum game requirement, to make sure that the MMR is legit. And and every time before every tournament, all the players are being checked. They're being checked if they have enough games, if they have the right MMR, if they have multiple races played. Because sometimes people want to off race, but you know, that's if your off race is higher rank than your main race, like that still doesn't count. Like you have to be like, your highest rank race has to fit in the requirements, no matter what it is. There are people playing multiple races as well, which is also checked that they have the games required on every race that they want to play. Because we do have some race pickers, we do have some random players, and for those they do need all of those. Ooh, as we are dropping some frames, that's unfortunate. Hopefully the stream is still fine, and we'll just wait for this hiccup to calm down. It looks like it's going back up, so it should be fine soon. Well, in the meantime, since it looks like our players still need some time to set up, we will go to a quick break, and we'll see you as soon as we have the series ready. Be right back. Welcome back! Welcome back to Sea Duckling Open number 126, and we are now loading into the first of our maps of the quarterfinals, where we are on Alcyone, or Alcyone, LE. LE, of course, stands for long explanations. It's when you try to think of an LE and then make your way out of there. How did we get here? Anyway, in the top right corner, we have our purple Zerg player. It is Maar. And across the map, a yellow Terran player. Very interesting color choice in this game. We have representing the donkeys. It is werehog. Look, look, they literally are called the donkeys. It is called donkey. What can I tell you? They have this beautiful beautiful something. A beautiful decal. Oh, I just realized, as Maar is going for a pull into hatch, I just realized that Maar's color, the purple Zerg, is a caster's nightmare on a dark map. Because you can absolutely not see anything going on that minimap. Oh no. This will be fun. So in case I miss any Zerging run-bys, this is why. As we have an SCV scout going across the map. Maar already taking the third base before taking the gas. Gasless third base is very interesting there. The first Zerglings are going across the map and they are scouted by Werehog. He knows that something is up. He is keeping the Reaper at home, getting it to the mineral ASAP. That CC on the low ground, I mean, Werehog will try to finish it, but it will have to just fend for itself. Yeah, he cancels it when he sees the Zerglings. The SCV tries to hide, but he cannot really escape. Again, the Zerglings do not have speed as there is no gas. And Werehog is walling up. He set up that wall, he is making Marines, make sure that he can defend. That said, there are no more Zerglings coming. This was just, you know, the early pressure. And after that, Maar is just running. He's just running out. And SCV confirms that there are no more Zerglings coming. The gas is now flowing, but yeah, that was a very interesting opening from Maar, and I think it worked for him really well. I mean, Werehog did focus on making defenses. He had his base cancelled, and at the same time, Maar was able to drone up the first 3 bases. And now the Verrion will try to deal with these Zerglings, and he does bait it into the base. So the Zerglings are now gone, but how are the bases looking? Well, the third does not have any workers. The natural does have a decent saturation though, and you know, that's definitely nice for Maar there. And going for double Evo from there. Is Papa Panda in the chat? I think I need some consultation. I need some advice on what is happening in this game. Because I feel like only Papa Panda could understand what is actually going on. So Maar is taking 4th base. So we have 4 bases. A melee and carapace upgrade. And no speed. Huh. Yeah, Werehog does see the 4th base. His Reaper is bothering it, but it won't be able to like really do anything to it. But at the same time, there's absolutely no forces for Maar. He does not have any units other than the queens. Like, queens are the only like attacking unit, to put it that way. I mean, technically you can attack with drones, but there are no actual forces. The drone does go, the overload does go down, which is unfortunate. It looks like Werehog did make a Viking to deal with that observation. Baneling nest. Okay, so is the idea to just make a lot of banelings and just roll into the base? Is that what we're going for? Is that what's happening? This is very interesting. Look, I like this kind of games where we kind of just try to figure out what is going on. Those are my favorite kind of games. And now we're getting speed. Okay, okay. Everything is starting to fall into place. That's a very, very, very delayed speed. But also, like, I mean, Werehog didn't pose any threat to Maar. Like, that one Reaper wasn't really getting into the mineral lines. And even if it was, the queens were there to defend, so... Yeah, without Werehog on the map, Maar was able to get away with this, to get away with 4 bases. They are now fully saturated, even oversaturated in some places. And yeah, now, you know, with all the upgrades, all the economy, Maar can just make an army, and Werehog only has 2 bases. He's making a 3rd CC, but yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared of what Maar can do, really. This is such an interesting way to play. Incredibly greedy. Like, if the Terran, after defending the first few Zerglings, if the Terran just decides to attack, if they just decide to be aggressive, like, you just lose the game. But because werehog didn't really have the forces, or maybe because werehog didn't think he has enough forces, he just let Maar be. Because I mean, you don't know what is going on across the map. Like, sure, he sent the Reaper, but like I don't know how much he was actually able to see. Maybe he was afraid that there were like Zergling reinforcements, but there was in fact nothing. Maar had no units. Now, of course, double expanding, because, I mean, may as well. Such a weird game. And with that, werehog is moving out. These two medivacs. Some of the Marines didn't quite make it into the medivac, which is unfortunate, so they kind of just, go on foot. The Zerglings do crash into the Marines. I mean, Zerglings definitely are not the best force to deal with Steam Marines. Actually, Steam is not finished. What am I saying? It's just Marines. No combat shield, no nothing. But with this bigger force of Zerglings, Maar should be able to fend this off. And actually, all of the Marines are going down. None of them were picked off. Or picked up. Muse, what are you doing here? Yeah, that's what I thought. Now we have some tanks. We have more Marines coming for reinforcements. Steam has completed. But oh, I don't know if werehog is prepared for what he's about to see, because there are banelings on the way. There's ultralists then on the way. We're going full ground forces. And the Link Bane is rolling in. The Banelings unfortunately crash into the tanks, but there's enough of them to take down that army. And even the bio does go down, and the entire army is gone. Maar takes game number 1 in the most greedy Zerg style possible. Oh, I never started the predictions, did I? Well. There will be predictions for the next series, okay? I'm still not used to setting the prediction for every series, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, that was a very interesting game, and again, I think I feel like if werehog just harassed after that initial after he held the initial Zerglings, if werehog just was a bit more aggressive, I feel like this whole build would fall apart. But because he didn't, like, Maar was able to get away with it. So interesting. I do wonder how well that goes on ladder. Like, how often are you able to play like that? Because I feel like yeah, I don't know. I feel like a lot of players on ladder are very aggressive. So I do wonder how successful Maar is with this build on ladder, unless he just doesn't use it on ladder. Maybe it's like an exclusively for tournaments build, because that's possible. Like, people in tournaments tend to play slightly different than they do on ladder a lot of times. So interesting. But anyway, I forgot that I'm... I forgot that I'm the one hosting the lobbies. Hold on. It's all good. We got there in the end. I was like, oh, where's the lobby? Why is the lobby not happening? But this time I'm the lobby host. Okay. I see. And welcome to Golden Aura. As in the top left corner of Golden Aura, we have the purple Zerg, a very, very, very greedy Zerg. It is Maar. And across the map we have his opponent. It is the yellow Terran player from the Donkeys. It is Trash Cannot, also known as Werehog. Now I do wonder if this was a one-off build or if this is how Maar just plays. Because you sometimes have those builds that are just like designed to catch your opponent off guard. Because you don't expect free hatch with no gas. But the question is that just the build or is it just a one-off to catch his opponent? And also I do wonder how Werehog responds to this, because again, we saw that in his series versus FizzSerpent, where after, some things didn't work out, he made sure that he didn't make the same mistakes in the next game, so maybe he also will be a bit more aggressive, maybe he will try to pressure the Zerg a bit more, and that way Maar won't be able to get away with this, as once again Maar is going for for pull into hatch. It looks like the drone is going for the third hatchery. So it just looks to be the go-to for Maar. Milan, Werehog once again going for the Reaper expand, and the SCV is going across the map. It will once again see the 6 Zerglings. This time it does go into the bases though, the SCV does not go down to these links. And will proceed to scout. Again, Werehog does see the third base, so he should know that this is not committed. This is just a pressure. He pulls his workers, he pulls the SCVs to defend the natural this time. The Reaper is there as well. And he is holding off the Zerglings. He has to kite them though, because that is still 6 Zerglings. They may be slow, but they still do damage. Marine did go down, the Reaper is low as well. The SCVs are not really doing much, which is unfortunate. All the micro is focused on the Reaper, but it is slowly waning off the Zerglings. Yeah, most of the Zerglings are down, only 2 are left. And even though Werehog did suffer some damage, because we did lose an SCV and 2 Marines, he does defend the natural base, and this time he will be able to proceed with his economy without too much of a disturbance. So already going much better for Werehog than the previous game. And Maar is switching up. It won't be Zergling this time, it won't be Bienix, it will be Roaches. So slightly different build, like the same opening but different build from Maar. I also do wonder if this is a ZVT opening. Because generally like more people go for hatch first versus Terrans, like more people are feeling comfortable to be more economical versus Terrans, but going for all 3 hatches is quite extreme. The Reaper goes into the main base. Oh, maybe sniping the 2 more, but not quite. Not enough. Not in time. Goes into the main base, checks on the tech, sees the pool, but does not see the tech yet. Can he see? Oh, I don't think he saw the roach warren. Let me see. Actually, he might have seen the roaches. Because, yeah, okay. He sees the roach warren just barely, but I think he might have seen the roaches moving out as well. Maar is moving across the map with those roaches. Not many of them, but still, the roaches are roaches. The Verrions are there to intercept, but some of the roaches go around and they will be getting into the natural base. They deny the bunker. The Marine will be going down. And what other forces do we have? The Verrions are going across the map, so they are not here to defend. It looks like the roaches will be dealing a lot of damage to the SCVs. Meanwhile, the Verrions meet the Queens and they are not able to get any damage. We have more roaches coming in. The Liberator is dealing with some of them, but some of them do survive. Single Marine will not be able to defend. A tank is now out. With the tank we should be able to deal with most of these roaches. We have roaches and ravagers here, not a lot of them though. Only 2 roaches, 2 ravagers, and I don't think there are more reinforcements coming for the time being. I think Maar once again did his attack, did his pressure, and now he's focusing on the economy. Now he's droning up. I mean, he achieved a certain goal. The natural base is lifted. A few SCVs did go down, not a lot of them though. But the key thing is that the mining in the natural base is completely denied. The orbital is in the air, so it cannot even drop the mules. And the natural base is still sieged. Finally, the Cyclone is able to help deal with the roaches. It looks like the tank might have killed an SCV, unfortunately. And the natural base of Werehog is once again clean, but as he was doing that, Maar was taking the fourth, was working on all of those drones. The Queen sniped the Liberator immediately. They were prepared in the third base. I mean, there are overlords all across the map. So it's very likely that Maar has seen the Liberator coming and was able to predict where it would pop up. Now we're getting the Bending Nest. And the 2 Evos, of course. The evolution chambers are down. Maar definitely is on point with his upgrades. I would say even a little bit ahead of general builds, although it's hard to say because his build is just very different. Like, the order of things is not what it usually is. You know, Werehog working on more infrastructure, getting more racks, more marines. The third orbital is already finished. It's not landed on location, but it is able to help with resaturating this base. Ah, the Duckling is getting all zergy. Oh, was that the case? Yaku is pointing out in the chat that the SCVs were repairing a mule. That probably means that the SCVs were on auto repair and just the first thing they saw was put the mule. Ah, that happens. Unless it was a misclick, which is also possible. Meanwhile, we have this small little drop going across the map for Werehog. He does see the Lingbane though and is not too happy about it. The drop was of course seen by the overlords, which are making a nice little line around the map. Like, the middle of the map is nicely under observation by the Zerg, and the queens that were just spreading the creep here are getting this medivac quite low. Do not kill it though. It looks like this medivac is in danger though, because the queens do chase, and as soon as that creep is close enough, they will try to snipe. Werehog decides to unload the marines and they will go home on foot, it looks like. Now the Lingbane is getting ready to deny this third base, and there are no defenses here. It's very saturated as well, but there is a transfer coming. Oh, all those SCVs are here in the wrong time. But it looks like the Lingbane is not even focusing them. They are going forward. The tanks are undefended on the front and they will be going down. The wall was not protecting them, and now the Lingbane is rolling into the natural, going straight for the main base actually. The Marines are going down 2 bendings, and GG is called. Maar is taking game number 2 and the entire series. What a game, what a Zerg. That's definitely a playstyle. Like, it's so funny to me because as a Zerg play, it's just so interesting to see. Like, Werehog is playing very well, don't get me wrong. But if you don't deny that monstrous economy, if you don't like harass those mineral lines, like Werehog tried, he sent that Liberator, but the pathing of the Liberator was not ideal. It did get caught by the Queens, and yeah, just like that, Maar is taking the series and going straight into semifinals. What a game. What a place. Like, honestly, like, this kind of games make me just want to, like, load up ladder and try it myself and lose horribly, because, again, this is the kind of build that, like, if the Terran decides to be aggressive, it will probably not work. It will probably just fall on its face, but if you just happen to be able to, you know, escape that aggression, like, you can just go. I mean, granted, like, with the denial of the natural, like, the Terran has less to work with, but even then, like, you know, a lot of Terrans are much more active. But anyway, let us see what is happening on the bracket in the meantime. So, oh, we just got the opponent for this series, so actually let's invite them to the lobby. But in the meantime, as we were in this series, we had Captainfisch 2-0 Radar, which is quite interesting. Radar is definitely one of the favorites. I believe he has been in the finals before. I don't remember if he won the recent finals. Yeah, we will be moving servers, as both of our players are from EU. Yeah, so Captainfisch does take down Radar 2-0 and will be now playing in those semifinals, which we are about to cast. Okay, now we just have to make sure that everybody is in the lobby. Meanwhile, on the other side of the bracket, we have Lochka or Lochka taking Demasio. I'm not sure. Taking them down 2-0 and is now playing versus Legoland Man. Meanwhile, Verrion takes down Tricky 2-0. I'm not sure why Verrion is. Oh, who is Verrion? Oh, Verrion is a Protoss player. Okay, okay. Also a new appearance in our tournament. Takes down Tricky 2-0 and is now playing Yakuza. Oh, actually just beat Yakuzaku 2-0 as well and is now waiting in the semifinals for an opponent. So we will be casting Verrion later on. But for now, we have our series ready for us. So let me set it up. We have Captainfisch versus Maar. If I am not wrong, Maar is a hybrid in the StarCraft campaign. It may have another meaning as well, but I am not sure. I think that is what it is, because Maar does have the hybrid portrait in game on EU, so I think it is. I think he is named after the hybrid. Okay, so now we have everyone in, and it's time to set up our lobby. Oh, actually, interesting first map. We have... okay. This, click that. And we are about to be ready for our series. Okay. Yes. Oh, as we were setting up this lobby, it looks like we have our other semi-finals set up. It will be Lochka versus Verrion. as Lochka did beat Legoland Man 2-0. But we have our own series to get ready for. Okay. Okay. Predictions should be closing as there is a 2-minute delay. But they have been opened. I remembered this time. Oh, but I didn't give it a title. One day I will do my job properly, okay? One day. But anyway, we are loading into post-youth Ellie for the first of our semifinals. And we are looking at the base of our purple Zerg player, the very, very greedy Zerg. It is the hybrid Maar. And across the map it is his opponent, the blue Terran player. It is Captainfisch. Does anyone know what the decal is? Like, it looks like a screenshot from Discord or something with the green mark. But anyway, let us what? Where is my sentence going? Anyway, let's get into this game. Once again, we have a pull first for Maar, and we will see. We will see if once again he goes for that free hatch. Oh, hold on. It looks like... Oh. See, because I was not looking on Discord, and apparently we may have a co-caster, so we will get to that in our next game, but for now it's just me. And we are looking at our very greedy Zerg, already going for that second hatch, but where does he take a third actually? Yeah, he has to take this third. It's a bit of an awkward setup, but I guess it can work. And I am curious how Captainfisch will deal with it. The thing is, I am pretty sure that Captainfisch was playing his own series as the previous match was happening, so I don't think he was able to see what Maar was doing. I mean, potentially you could, like, you know, look at the VOD and maybe like scroll a little bit and see what's happening. But I honestly doubt that Captainfisch was doing that. So he sees the Zerglings. He deals with some of them with the Reaper. Important thing to point out is that it is post-youth, so this first base is well protected. You have that natural on the high ground, so in this specific map, Maar's strategy doesn't really work. It's a similar story on Dynasty, where the Terran base is also protected from the Zerglings. And despite losing the Reaper, all of those things do get cleaned up, so Maar is not really able to achieve anything across the map, but still he makes sure that the Reaper stays at home and he has time to drone up his bases. And now all eyes are on Captainfisch. Is he going to be aggressive? Or is he gonna give Maar time? Because Steelmold, once again, this is one of your lines. I believe you would say that you can give Protoss time. You cannot give Maar time. If you give Maar time, he will run away with it. He will get all the drones he possibly can. And then maybe make an army. Potentially. It's still so crazy to me because I feel like on ladder this style would not be nearly as successful because you have so many aggressive players on the ladder. But in a tournament settings where a lot of players are going for more macro styles, you know, for more solid builds, it just works. Okay, the Hellions did dive in. They did fry some of the drones, not a lot of them though, and the queens were there to fend them off. But that means that Captainfisch is aware of the third base and how well it's already set up. And Captainfisch is going for Banshees, Cloak Banshees at that. I believe Maar was able to see. I mean, he did see the Stargate, but it was not researching. Yeah, it was not on when he was there. I believe Captainfisch tried to cancel to make sure that it's not visible. But yeah, now this is what I'm talking about. There are these Hellions. The first ones were denied, but Captainfisch makes a few more and he will be trying to get into the spaces. There are queens to defend, but a single queen cannot deal with this many Hellions at once. Yeah, the queens have to be pulled for defense. And the problem is, there is a lot of queens already. Like, Maar does not stop the queen production and he is taking his 4. So despite having literally no fighting units, there is 0. There are no Zerglings, no Banelings, no Roaches, no nothing. There are just queens and drones. Maar is able to fend off the Terran attacks. Once again, Captainfisch has to find a position where the queens are not. He has to slide into those bases and maybe get some damage done, because if he doesn't stop Maar, this can get out of hand. Again, those Banshees will also help. First of them is already across the map. The cloak will be finished soon, and I believe it was just done. So this is some potential. There is a spore, so I can tell that Maar has played versus Banshees before, because there is a spore ready. But even with a spore, the Banshee is able to get a drone or two, which is always nice. The Hellions are also sharking around, so the queens have to be constantly in position. To be honest, I'm not sure if maybe it would be worth it to split the Hellions and, you know, just run them in both directions so that the queens also have to be split out for the defense. But there are just so many of them. How many are there? We have 10 queens already. And now that we have all the economy, that Maar has set up those 4 bases, including this gold, now it's time to make the army. Oh, but the drones are starting to get fried. The queens were not quite in position on that gold base. 4 drones do go down. Only 4 though. And the first link attack is across the map. The wall is not a wall, and the Zerglings are running straight into the main base, straight into the mineral line. The tank is sieged up, but it's nothing for all of those Zerglings. And because of the setup of this map, the natural is also wide open for them now. The drop was intercepted. The Marines are getting dropped, but the Zerglings are making short work of them. The Hellions are also very damaged from earlier, so the Zerglings are able to just chew through them. And with that, yeah, Maar is taking down this base. At the same time, he is losing a lot of drones across the map, probably to those Banshees, but 20 ECVs go down, most of the army, some of the infrastructure as well. So even though Maar has suffered some losses, they're nothing compared to what the Terran has lost. Yeah, he's lost those workers on this half gold, but I mean, he's already remaking them. All the queens are here to defend, and yeah, Captainfisch lost 20 SCVs, lost all that army, lost the tank. He's even floating that orbital back because he doesn't quite feel safe to expand right now. That went pretty well for Maar. Okay, posture check everyone, as I just caught myself intensely staring at the minimap, making sure that I don't miss what is going on. Oh, we even have some changelings around the map, just to increase the vision around. Again, that is something that I keep emphasizing. Vision is very, very important. The changing here and there is helping Maar so much in intercepting those attacks, because that is the downside of having so many bases, that you have to constantly make sure that your army is in position, because there are just so many places that you can be attacked in. But if you have that vision around the map, if you have the creep spread, the spotters, you are able to be there in time. That said, still 6 rounds do go down, which is very nice damage for Captainfisch. But isn't it enough damage? That's the question. Because Maar is getting ready for an attack. He is getting his hive. Will we see ultras this time? Because that's what he was going for when he was playing werehog before. But we didn't quite see the ultras. This time it seems like we may get there. Captainfisch also diligent on destroying those overlords, which, you know, is definitely quite useful considering that Maar is getting supply block. Now this big Zerg economy has its downsides, and the supply blocks are one of them. But there are so many banelings already. And they are getting level 2 upgrades as well. I mean, Terran is on 1-1. And the Lingbei will be soon 2-2. Those 4 Marines trying to find any damage they possibly can, but I mean, it's just 4 Marines. On the plus side, because it's a small force, it's able to, you know, hide under the radar of Maar and they're not quite caught in time. So they're actually able to go around the bases, but now this will be the end of their trip as the queens are here to defend and the Zergis will be as well. Ultra then is halfway done. It looks like we will be seeing ultras this time. As Maar is taking pretty much more than half of a map by now. In the meantime, Captainfisch has expanded to the third and he has some forces set up on the front. Mostly Marines though. The tanks will be helping deal with these banelings. The Marine forces are moving into the third base, but they are moving into the SCVs, so they will be also under fire. 10 SCVs going down and most of the army of the Terran just to this Lingbane alone. The Marines are going back to the high ground, in a better position to hold. And they should be able to clean up the rest of the Lingbane. But still, those are some heavy losses there for Captainfisch. Again, losing his entire mineral line in that third base. As the Lingbane follow the Marines all the way there. And now, Captainfisch decides to be aggressive. He decides to push towards the Zerg. I mean, he did clean up this entire army, right? But there are so many queens here just to defend. Like, look at this stream of queens, and now the ultras are behind the... Keep in mind that Chitin's plating is not finished, so those are just vanilla ultras, but there's so many of them regardless. They're like little Zerglings, or rather big Zerglings, I would say. And they are showing through the main wall, through the front wall of the base of Captainfisch, that GG is called. Maar will be taking game number 1 in his very greedy style. Okay, we already have our second map. And we are quickly setting up and going into game number 2 of the semi-finals of Sea Duckling Open number 126. And we are loading into Crimson Court. Where in the top right corner we have the first of our players. It is the purple Zerg, currently up 1-0 in the series. It is Maar. Maar the hybrid. And across the map we have his opponent. It is the blue Terran player. it's Captainfisch. Zerg Imba. I mean, look. Look. I don't know if you can say Zerg Imba when the guy literally goes 3 hatcheries, no gas. It's just it's crazy, honestly. As a Zerg player, that's why it's so funny to me, because to me it looks like a crazy build, but it works. It just works. It's nice to know high ranked teams also die to this. Yeah. Apparently so. I mean, again, like, I feel like the biggest advantage of this build is just that you don't expect it. Because it's not common for Zergs to do that, so when the players are scouting across the map, they don't expect the Zerg to be this greedy, you know? So when that happens, they are caught off guard and they are not able to stop it in time. But the thing is, how do you stop it as a Terran? Like, other than cheesing, because of course, if you know that this is what is going to happen, then you can, then you can just make some proxy racks. And I do not know how well Maar would defend the proxy racks. Honestly, I kind of want to see it. Like, I kind of want somebody to proxy Maar just to see if that is also something he accounted for in his build, because as you saw, like, he accounted for like Banshee style, like he has the spores ready, he has all these queens made very early for the defense. But I do wonder how he handles proxies, like with this greedy opening. But assuming you don't proxy, like how do you defend it as a Terran when your natural is delayed or denied? And then you have to, catch up to the Zerg in the economy, and the Zerg just keeps running away with it. You try to dive in with Verrions, but there are queens in every base. Like, how do you deal with this greedy Zerg? The Verrion actually is able to get into the main base and is getting down drones. Ooh, that one drone so low, but is able to escape, and now it looks like the drones are pulled off the lines. The Reaper does escape with its life though. The CC was made on the high ground, so Maar is not able to deny it, and it looks like the response from Captainfisch is to go for a third of his own. He's making a third command center in the main base. And yeah, looks like he will try to respond with an economy of his own. What happened to the Zerglings, by the way? Oh, okay, they're just chilling. The Reaper was able to snipe 2 of them, and the other 4 are just chilling in the third base, so Maar is not going across the map to deny the natural that isn't there. He does have an Overlord though, so he may be able to see when it's being taken. I think it's a little bit too far away to see that though. And I'm curious if this is what works, if what Terra really needs to do is to just be as greedy and just match the Zerg in the economy. Because Maar is doing the same thing, he's getting his double evolution chambers, he's getting the gas but no upgrades, no speed, no nothing. He's not making any units whatsoever other than the queens. But I do wonder how Captainfisch deals with it. As again, he is getting Hellions. There is a Viking on the way as well, which will have denied that vision from the Overlords. The Overlord trying to hide in the trees, but it's not able to run away. And the Hellions are going across the map. That's quite a big squad of them. We have some queens, some of the creep spreading queens, but there's only 2 of them in each place, so the Hellions should be able to sneak by. They do try to burn off the links first. Oh, but they could take this drone? No! Captainfisch didn't quite notice the drone coming in. And was not able to deny that hatchery. And now that Maar has been alerted to the Verrions going around, the queens are in position. I mean, sure, Captainfisch takes down some of the creep tumors, but will not be able to get any damage now with these Verrions, and that's painful already. Oh, also I just remembered we were supposed to get our co-caster. Ah, look. Look! Shaking my head. The Liberator is going across the map. The spores are getting ready, but we'll see if they will be ready. At the same time that Viking is dealing with the Overlord, supply blocking Maar. Which base are we going for? We are going for the main. Can we get a good position? That's decent. It denies some gas mining. Maar does move to defend. The queen actually does get hurt by that Liberator. Almost gets sniped, but oh, there's no dead space here. Liberator, you have to move. You have to move. No. That was so sad. Anyway, the Verrions are trying to dive in. They meet a lot of the queens though, and now the Zerglings are trapping them as well. And a lot of the Verrions will be falling down. Some of them do survive though, and they do go for the mineral line. Only one drone dies though. I mean, not only some of the Verrions were sniped on the way, but also the Zerg is already on +1/+1, so those drones also benefit from those upgrades, and that means that that's much harder for them to be killed by the Verrions. Oh, the wall is open. The wall is open. The Zerglings are coming in. The Captainfisch was trying to expand to the third base right now. The tanks were saved. And it looks like it was just in time, just enough to clean up those Zerglings. The third is secured. Some nice decisions from Captainfisch to take those tanks and make sure that they are not taken down. And see, while Maar's economy is still, you know, exploding, is that a good word? But it's still very, very intense, very high up there. Like, Captainfisch is not that much behind. Like, he has a standing army and he is going across the map. The queens are transfusing as much as they can, but the steam marines are actually dealing damage to them and they are going down. We only have a few queens left. Where are the Zergling reinforcements? Yeah, just like that, that's enough. Captainfisch ties up this series 1-1. The units were not there for Maar, and I think he was just a bit late on making his army, and with that Terran moved in, and yeah, there was no more defense. There were just the queens, and they were not enough to fend off all of those marines. We have a tied up series. Yes, let me invite our co-caster to the party. Oh, I haven't done this in so long. So as I try to figure out all the settings, welcome to Yakuzaku.
Dzień dobry.
Oh boy, it's been so long.
See.
Hold on. How do I webcams? Panic.
Pomidora.
Yes. Yaku, have you been watching?
Welcome. I have been looking.
But have you been watching?
My eyes were open. My ears.
What is happening here is...
I didn't end them. Okay, I see. I wasn't quite able to catch the second half of game number 2 here between Maar and Captainfisch because, you know, you have stream delay going on. But I'm going to assume that Mr. Fish ended up taking Herrfisch, if you will.
Uh-huh.
Ended up taking game number 2.
Yeah, he did. We do have a tied up series. And our
There we
players
go.
are
I
ready.
deduced that.
Deduce that from this game being set up.
Ah.
But yeah, we have a tied up series, but what is crazy is that Maar has this crazily greedy style. And I said that before, if the Terran attacks, like, Maar is dead. And that is what happened.
I'm taking notes. And I think Captainfisch also took notes after game number 1.
Yeah, because the thing is that, like, if you give him the time, like, he will slowly but surely just, you know, overwhelm you. But if you keep the aggression going, if you keep at it, like, he has no units. He literally has no standing force. So it's such a risky build, but if it works, it works. That's why it's so fun.
I think what you're saying makes sense, but I'm still gonna reduce it to post-youth being Imba.
Sure. But anyway, we are now loaded into Golden Aura, Ellie. And we are in the bottom right corner. We have the first of our players. It is the blue Terran who managed to tie up this series, even though some people didn't think it was possible. It is Captainfisch.
That's a neat decal. And
yeah, cool.
spawning over here in the top left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, LE. I had something for LE, but now I forgot what it is. Anyway, we have our purple, that's a good color, purple Zerp player coming over here, the hybrid, if you will. We have, representing themselves, Maar.
So,
I was quite able to confirm if they were on a team or not.
no, I don't think
Or
they
clan.
are. Or at least they are not on a clan in-game, on neither server, so... As far as we know, they are teamless. Yeah. And here's the summary of what Maar does. He goes pool first, although I think it's like 16 pool or something. Like, it's a late pool, but it's a pool first. Into 3 bases, he takes his natural and his third. And then he makes 6 Zerglings and absolutely no army for the next 5 minutes.
What you're saying is correct. This is everything that we're seeing Maar do right now, but I'm still hung up on the phrase a late pool first, which is technically correct, but
yes,
it just sounds like it doesn't make any sense.
I mean,
but that's what he's doing.
I wouldn't say it's late, but like, it's not like, you know, like a 12 pool or something. Like, it's not meant to be aggressive. It's just for the 6 Zerglings, so he can put pressure on the Terran, and then, as we saw before, like, the Terran is sometimes like very confused about what is happening, and, you know, they either overmake defense or they just lose their natural straight up, and yeah, and the game is just Mars from there.
Yeah, too much brain.
Yeah, it is all a mind game, really.
Terran players nowadays. Yeah, that's really the problem with Terran players nowadays.
They use the brain.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
We need to return to Monka. That's literally the advice that Light gave me before I started my series.
Ah.
It didn't work, but yeah.
Maybe you were in monkey now. Maybe you should. Maybe you channeled the wrong monkey. Maybe you channeled the wrong monkey. You should have channeled the monkey from the Monkey Town.
That's what I thought I was doing, but I think I was channeling the monkey from across Monkey Town. I don't know that many other monkeys around here.
But yeah, we have the Reaper from Captainfisch.
Oh!
Captainfisch was able to deal with all of the Zerglings, so there was no pressure on his base. He was making his CC on the high ground, and it is now being floated as an orbital. So again, now Captainfisch starts this series, this map perfectly. Like, there's no damage done to him. And
yeah, no damage.
I wonder if Captainfisch is able to like actually be aggressive from early on this time.
Well, that might be a little bit tricky, but it's definitely possible. But I'm looking at Maar right now, and you're gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong in this one, Kuro, but I believe we have a little bit of a deviation here in these roaches. Nope, never mind. He just made 9 more drones.
Yeah, he did that. He did that in game 2 versus werehog as well, where game 1 was just straight Link Bane into ultras. He didn't get to ultras that time, but it was just Link Bane into ultras. And then game 2 he went for the roaches instead. I think it depends on how well the links do at first. So like if the links don't work, he goes for roaches instead.
Yeah, and as we can see right now, it's a it's a very deadly response coming out from here. These Hellions not quite able to do much, even if these roaches bunch up perfectly. Cycle is still about halfway through. We are seeing Maar start to break his way forward. Not quite getting a lot of economic damage yet. Captainfisch doing a really good job of dancing around these roaches. How many of them fell? 2 of them. Okay, that's fewer than I thought.
Yeah, I mean,
went down, but
to be fair, there were not a lot of them to begin with. Like, it's just 6 roach pools, and there aren't even Ravagers here because there were no tanks on the high ground, so Maar didn't feel like he needs to make any Ravagers. And they will be cleaned up, of course not without losses for Captainfisch, but they didn't damage the economy of the Terran.
yeah, 2 workers going down, that's not a whole lot. I mean, sure, Maar behind all of this has been joining up very, very hard, but you can never forget that Terran has mules, especially a Terran player who has 3 orbital commands.
Yeah, exactly. Captainfisch has set up himself much more nicely this time. He is sending the Liberator as well, and this time there is no Spore yet in the main base of Maar. There is no Queen here either.
Yeah, this is not too ideal. Liberator gonna be sneaking on by entirely, and here we go, we got the Queen.
Yeah, we
But
have the Queen,
interesting,
but
Captainfisch is
it's just one though.
waiting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, that is something I don't like, that both of our Terrans have did, both werehog and Captainfisch has done it, where they wait with their attack, they don't attack straight up. Like, I understand that in general you would want that, because you want to make sure that your attack comes at the right time. But with Maar you have to just attack. Just attack while he gets napping.
Yeah, ideally with the Liberator you do want to come in with a second prong, but even though it was only a single Liberator harass, you know, we didn't have any follow-up with Hellions or anything like that. Still, 8 drones went down.
Yeah, that was really nice damage for Captainfisch. The queens were out of position, and again, this single queen at this base was not able to fend off the Liberator. It tried, but it fell down.
Yeah, it fell down, it got burnt, it got blasted.
Yeah.
Zip, zap.
Yeah.
And eventually the Liberator does get cleaned up. Captainfisch behind all of this is still setting up for that, well, I was going to say 3 base push, but he's actually getting a 4th behind this, so I guess technically it's a 4 base. It would be a 4 base push.
Yeah, I like that response from Captainfisch, because I was talking about it before about how, like, what does a Terran do versus a player like Maar? Like, except like proxy raxing, if we assume that we are playing a macro game, like, what does a Terran do to counter this really greedy Zerg? And the response from Captainfisch is to be greedy himself.
Yeah, looks like he's very confident in his, gonna be very confident in his mid and late game. I mean, yeah, ideally I think the Terran player would want to attack at this point, but I think Captainfisch has also scouted. He's seen that's a lot of Lings, that's a lot of Banes. I could go for a push, but I have to, if I even slip up once in my control, then you're just gonna come in for a counterattack. So instead, Captainfisch, I wouldn't necessarily say he's playing greedy, but he is playing macro, so he is setting himself up to get ready for to hit the next timing after 1-1.
Yeah, I guess it's not so much playing greedy, but more that, like, he doesn't wait to take his bases. Like, he just takes the 3 CCs straight up, and like the sooner he expands, the better. Essentially, I feel like normally he would wait much longer with making those CCs, with making those orbitals, and here, like, he knows that the Zerg is not going to attack for a while, so he has the time to do that.
Yeah, never want to be... You can't be too afraid when you're up against a player like Maar. And I tell you, the way to not be afraid, you embrace the Monka.
Ah, the Monka. Which Monka though?
Which is the... So I think there are some Monkas who are afraid, but I think orangutans, they're pretty chill. They don't really care that much.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I don't think I've seen many like agitated orangutans.
I
like,
say
they're generally very chill.
I say that, but then I now remember that one clip I saw about orangutans being afraid of snakes and cobras specifically.
I mean, makes sense. Like, why wouldn't you be afraid of a cobra?
Cause they're cool. Look at them, you know?
I mean, they're cool, but they're cool if they're at a safe distance. So I feel like I understand why you would be afraid of it. Also, we have a bit of a difference. We are actually getting upgrades for the Zerglings.
Interesting. Focusing a lot more on cracklings this time. We do have the Ultra Cavern, and we do have the Hive already. Wait. Yeah, we do have the Hive already, but there we go. Chitinous Plating now on the way.
Yeah, Chitinous Plating on the way. +1, I mean, +2/+2 on the way as well. That is something that you have to keep in mind about Maar. He does not forget his upgrades. He gets his upgrades as soon as he can, and he makes sure that his army is well upgraded there. And he is going for that melee army. It's Lingbane with Ultras.
Yeah, he's about to be maxed out pretty soon as well. Perfect timing here coming out from Maar. Captainfisch is not set up at all. Doesn't have his tech siege. There's a lot of Marines over here. They're very squishy. He needs to split them up. Kinda will be able to, but his entire bio army, his entire tank count, everything got reset. And behind all of this, look at that worker supply difference. Maar can't afford to remax. He's already remaxed. Captainfisch cannot.
Yeah, but Maar already working on it. Some of the ultras are already out. The other ones are on the way. Again, that base has lost pretty much all of the workers as the Marines were splitting. The SCVs were going down, and yeah, that was a really nice bit of damage for Maar.
Yeah, I feel like I've been there, you know, it's heartbreaking when you push out as a Terran player only to catch the Zerg army in the middle of the map, but it really does go to show just how active Mar's been so far with his creep spread, with his army movement. And he doesn't have to worry about remaxing either, just because he already got his economy under control at the, I wouldn't say from the start of the game, but much earlier on.
Yeah. The Chitinous Plating is ready? No, it's not ready.
Not quite. Okay, now it is.
Okay.
Wait, is it?
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's ready, it's ready. That's +3.
Okay, it's +3. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the Chitinous Plating Ultras, and they are going to town on this base, and looks like that is just enough for Maar to take it. Maar will be going to the finals.
I wasn't expecting it to be so quick. So
I know, right? I also didn't expect it to end like right there and then.
Yeah, it makes sense in hindsight, but I guess yeah, it's instilled in us that it's kind of instilled enough in us that it only ends when the ultras are knocking down the main.
Yeah.
That's what it typically feels like.
But yeah, I actually expect that that Captainfisch would be able to hold those ultras because they didn't really have much support. It was just ultras, but it looks like he was just not able to remake that.
I mean, he didn't have an army at.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he lost a lot
That's
of the army in the previous push, and he just didn't have enough.
Yeah. I mean, one tank. Let's do some math. Let's think this out. One tank, assuming it fights within planetary range, and I think he had 4 Marines as well. Everything goes right against 8 Ultras. At that point, you can still do a voodoo ritual to get your opponent's PC to crash, but yeah, that's also a little bit tricky to do. And otherwise, yeah, you're not gonna be able to hold from there. So GG. Maar, with a very economic style, going to be able to go all the way to those grand finals where they will be facing either another Zerg player in the form of Lochka or a Protoss player in the form of Verrion, not to be confused with Verrion, Warcraft character.
Yeah, 'cause this is where you save me as I'm trying to set up the lobby and I can see the players in the chat.
Yes, well, we do have... Okay, we have Verrion somewhere in here. Yeah, our players are here. It's just not quite responding.
I mean, I think they have different account names on Europe, so we'll have to find each other there.
Yes, I believe Nishi is Lochka. Yep, Nishi is Lochka. And I don't quite know how to read the letters on this one.
Ah, that's Verrion.
Beno.
That is Verrion.
Yeah, that's Verrion. Yeah, that's Verrion.
I cannot read a lot of Cyrillic, but I can read some Cyrillic, and apparently that's just enough.
Ah, I know the D in Cyrillic is like a. It looks like a A. I know that much.
Okay. Apparently, we will be having a PvP.
Oh, okay. I was mistaken. I thought it was going to be a PvZ coming up here.
Yeah, same.
But yeah, I guess it is allowed race picking in between series. Obviously, assuming you have the games required.
Yes. Yeah, as long as you have the games,
and it
is allowed.
Yeah. Although I have to say, Kuro, I feel that it's less common to see a player opting for a mirror matchup than the other way around.
I don't think so, actually. Not anymore. I feel like a lot of players lately have been picking PvP specifically.
Well, sentries are good.
Fair. Also, I may be thinking mostly about Iba, actually.
Yeah. Well, Iba doesn't count. He's not a player.
Anyway, we are now into our second semifinals of Sea Duckling Open number 126. As I'm trying to think while also look and do things, and there's a lot of multitasking going. But anyway, we are here and on PostTube, and at the top right corner of our map we have the first of our players. It is the light blue / teal Protoss player from Hokago T team. It is Nishishi, also known as Lochka or Lochka. I still don't know which it is. Is it Lochka or Lochka? Because it can be both. Anyway.
Well, we ponder on that. We're going to be over here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of Post Youth. Ellie, of course, standing for Location Imminent. That's when you're having Uber. We have a red Protoss player coming out here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, representing Da? Wait. So the N is... I remember what the N... I don't remember what the N is. I knew what the N is. I don't remember what it is. Representing that clan, as you can always see here, we have... Verrion.
Sure hope that there is no canon rush as I'm trying to set up the names. Hold on, I can set the colors, I can do this.
We have time.
Yes, we have everything.
Yes! We nailed it.
Woo! Nailed it, yes. Nice. Let's go. So what is going on?
Well, we have a pylon block.
And we also have a pylon block.
From Lochka, we have a...
Oh, actually no, we have a probe block.
Yeah, soon to be pylon block, but
Potentially.
not quite yet.
We have 2 probes, in fact. I feel like, honestly,
You know what? 2 probes, that equals 1 pylon.
I feel like these players know each other. Something tells me that they have played before.
I wonder what it is.
It may be those 2 probes sent just to block the expansion or something. I don't know. Something tells me they have played before. But anyway, we have a robo for Verrion. So he's the first one to choose the tech. He was not able to throw that expansion all the way until now.
Yeah, so I suppose he might as well decide to go down tech path, but this is pretty interesting choice to say the least, coming out from Verrion. Verrion? Verrion.
Verrion. There you go.
Verrion. Verrion, yeah, it does feel like robo openings are not quite as common nowadays in PvP compared to, well, what Lochka over here is doing with the Twilight Council, or even with, or even opening up with Stargate.
Verrion is also getting a forge at the same time.
Huh.
I feel like that's
Forge
not a common
and
thing.
no Twilight Council, yeah, so these are going to be... And we still do have 2 gateways, which I suppose is mostly for safety more than anything else, but he is going to be prioritizing Immortals after this, getting +1 vanilla Stalker push, potentially? On the cards? Stalker Immortal push, I mean.
Yeah, Stalker Immortal. I mean, potentially, across the map, like, Lochka is going for a Blink, so there will be Blink Stalkers versus non-Blink Stalkers, I guess. I mean, you could potentially get a Warp Priest.
Yeah. And that's, you know what, that's better than Blink.
Lochka, of course, sees all of that with the constant scouting from the sentries.
Yeah, sentries, pretty good units. Units to have here, and if you're Lochka right now, you gotta be thinking, okay, Verrion, my opponent, wants to be aggressive. They're probably gonna go for some kind of +1 timing. Where do we go from here as he looks to set up an expansion?
I guess, I don't know, we'll see about that. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the plan is. We are making more Immortals, so yeah, I feel like it's exactly what you said. I feel like it will be just Stalkers and Immortals, and Verrion will just go across the map.
Yeah, vanilla Stalkers. Should be waiting for the Warp Prism as 2 more gateways are about to finish up from here, and oh, we're not even going to wait for the Warp Prism, as he's just going to rally it across the map as he goes for the push.
Yeah, unfortunately for Verrion, it was scouted. Another Phoenix, Hallucination Phoenix, was there to spot it, and the Stalkers are ready with a shield battery, no less.
Yeah, this 1 Immortal, these 2 Immortals for Verrion have a lot of work to do, but it's easier to get work done when they're not in range of shield battery. See these 2 Immortals starting to one-shot these Stalkers, but they don't do too well against Zealots, funnily enough.
Yeah, this Force Piece did help Lochka quite a bit, as he was able to separate one of the Immortals, and yeah, one of them goes down, and it looks like Verrion decides this is it for him. But he's also double expanding.
Yep. He's double expanding, and he's getting shield upgrades?
What?
That is not armor. That is not armor. That is not weapons. He already has +1 ground weapons. That is +1 shield. Yeah, +1 shields.
Protoss has this?
He's got it. That apparently, I was not aware that you're allowed to get this upgrade before you throw down your fleet beacon, but apparently.
Yeah, but also we were talking about how Lochka has been scouting, and Verrion also gets a really nice scout that Observer is able to go all the way across the bases of Lochka, and yeah, we'll be able to get all the information. By the way, that Immortal looks very stuck.
It's not stuck.
It's not stuck, but it looks very stuck.
It looks, yeah. It's actually protruding through the chain
Yeah,
fence.
I was gonna say it's in the like its leg actually got stuck in the fence. It cannot move. Like it's trying to shuffle to get out.
Yeah. But actually, it's just holding on to something on the other side, and if it lets go, it will be able to be free.
Yeah. Poor Immortal. Trying his best. He thought he's gonna be a cannon.
Oh! He did it. He's free.
Yeah, he freed himself. He made it.
Willy. Well, speaking of Immortals,
yeah,
speaking of Archons, sorry, we were kind of expecting, or at least I was kind of expecting Verrion to tech that way, and he is throwing down his Templar archives now, but funnily enough, Lochka is the one to warp in High Templar first. Already getting those Archons.
I just want to point out the irony of the situation, where you have a Zerg and a Terran trying to figure out what is going on in this PvP. And we still don't know, to be fair.
I'm not gonna admit that.
Oh. Hello.
As the wall is not a wall, and we do have a Stalker and a Zealot slipping on in, but that's also a lot of reinforcement potential that Lochka has. Verrion trying to go for a double-pronged attack, but in the end does get deflected. Will delay the Nexus at the very least.
Yeah, so. He did force a cancel on that gold base, so I mean, maybe it was worth it after all, because Verrion didn't lose a lot of units there. Like, it was just a little bit of a poke to first distract Lochka and then take this base.
Yeah, and I don't think Lochka knows how greedy Verrion has been behind all of this. Well, but regardless, he's still going for a counterattack.
Yeah, he's about to find out as he's going across the map, even hallucinating some Archons. That's great. Ooh, nice denial there.
So he made himself look a lot bigger than he actually is, and also has some force field breaking potential with that. We have a lot of side defense being set up right now for Verrion, but he still has a much smaller army at the end of the day. Battery Overcharge has a lot of work to do. Battery Overcharge will not be available anymore, as the shield battery does get sniped. Mortals are going down left and right, and this looks like way too much Protoss.
Yeah, Lochka is overpowering. Lochka is overpowering this army. The key units did go down. Those Immortals are down. There are no sentries in his army either. It's just purely Stalkers with a few Zealots helping out, and the army of Lochka is still there. He still has Archons, he still has Immortals, and yeah, the base will be going down. The army is separated.
Even throwing down those force fields over there to make sure that he can deal with the Nexus without being bothered by all of these Stalkers. A couple of reinforcements come down for Verrion, but even still, this is way too much. This is way too beefy of a Protoss army from Lochka for Verrion to deal with.
Yeah, it looks like the blue Protoss is going all the way into the main base. I mean, not an ideal position to hold maybe, but that force field is helping tremendously, and just keeping the entire army of Verrion outside of the base.
Yeah, we do have a blink back into the main. This one pylon. Oh, I'm waiting for Lochka to get eyes on it. The Kuro pylon.
Oh no.
But he won't even need to take it in the end. GG is called. Lochka coming out with a very potent. I wouldn't necessarily call it a timing, but yeah, just a really good counterattack style in this PvP.
Yeah, very, very solid there.
Yeah, really on top of everything, really on top of the scouting in the early game, so he knew that he needed to set up defense, set up some defense pretty early on, to get that shield battery going by that third base, make sure he had enough Stalkers to deal with the initial poke, and then we had another timing come out from Verrion, that I believe +2 timing, which was able to delay the gold base of Lochka, but unfortunately, I think he just went a little bit too greedy with that double expand and wasn't quite able to build up enough of a force that would have been able to defend against a counterattack.
Yeah, maybe that was the case. Maybe that was as you said, that he just weren't because he was focusing on those bases. He was not able he was not able to get his army going, and yeah, he just didn't have enough.
Yeah, although we will say this, another 5 minutes maybe, then Verrion would have been definitely more than able to rebuild more of an army. It was just Lochka, well aware of his situation, their situation, and just attacking when they knew that they were going to be strongest, you know, relative to their opponent.
Yeah.
So all in all, this is a difference between Protoss and Terran. Terran, you want to do well, you throw away the brain. Protoss, you actually do need the brain if you want to do well. At least in PvP.
Oh,
At least in the mirror matchup.
Oh no, they changed colors. Hold on. Moment of
You
panic.
know what? Colors. We're not blind. I think that was a rumor that was being spread a while ago. But I'm here to put it to rest. We are not blind. I'm not allowed to say. I'll get fired.
Huh.
But we can't confirm that, so we do.
Yaku, save me. Save me. Just do the intro, Yaku. It's okay.
Here we have going to be continuing our best of 3 semifinals coming out over here on Golden Aura, where we're going to be spawning in over here in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way over here in the bottom right-hand corner of Golden Aura, LE. LE, of course, going to be standing for liquidated liquidated emulsifiers. That's when you get it's like those blenders that you have, right? The blenders that are on a stick rather than the ones that are on that's a jar that you attach to a thing. It's those blenders that are on a stick. They're like liquefied emulsifiers.
Okay, very good.
Or liquefying emulsifiers. We have our teal Protoss player gonna be representing Hokkaido. Hokkaido?
I think it's Hokkaido.
Hokkaido. Hokkaido T team. We have. You may know them as Nishi, but they're also known as Lochka.
I believe it's Nishishi.
Nishishi, Nishishi, not Nishi. Look.
Meanwhile, across the map we have their opponent. It is the green Protoss player representing himself, as far as you know, although there is a clan that we cannot quite read. It is Verrion.
We know it starts with a D.
Yes, it does start with a D. Also have this very suspicious pylon over here.
Yeah, very suspicious pylon and even more suspicious probe still hanging about there. We do have this pylon block from Verrion over here.
Oh, interesting.
But we also have both a robo as well as a gateway being thrown down over here.
And that is a
is that the only gateway?
No. This is a third gateway.
The third gate. Okay. Look, neither of us are Protoss players anymore. We don't really know the timings too well. This is...
what?
An interesting setup that we're getting over here. So Verrion setting up a couple of shield batteries over here in the natural base of Nishishi, but no proxy. So all of his units are going to have to come across the map the old-fashioned way. We have a couple of Haluked stalkers coming over here to soak some damage. You'll love to see it. Sentry, obviously, OP as ever.
I do love to see it. This is such a crazy strategy. You heard about Cannon Rush? That's like so yesterday. Heard about Battery Rush? Just straight up batteries, no nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, though, it seems that there is a reason for that. These shield batteries, now that they're out of energy, are going to be too useful.
You say that, but we have 5 stalkers here. When Lochka was about to proxy,
that's true.
Was about to proxy across the map, and now suddenly he has to defend.
You know what? You're right. who needs who needs energy on the shield batteries, you know, when you have energy, when you already have shields on the stalkers.
Yes.
And they're regening anyway.
And they are, yeah, I was gonna say, they are about to be regened anyway. So, yeah, the more time Lochka is waiting, the more units are in front of his base.
This is why I think that sentries should be able to top up shield batteries with energy. And vice versa. Imagine shield batteries, they're not just a pit stop, but it's also a fuel gas station.
Anyway, Verrion once again is going for a forge.
Yeah, Forge gonna get that +1. Gonna be producing his own immortals, which are gonna be very useful against the immortals over here of Lochka. No, the pylon lives!
The pylon leaves, look, Verrion actually recalls all his stalkers. And
yeah, I feel like
doesn't look too bad, although there's a lot of forces here.
Yeah, I feel like Lochka will be able to fight this regardless, especially without any shield battery support. It's 1 immortal versus 2 immortals. And it might not be the best at math, Kuro, but I believe 2 is a larger number than 1.
Yeah, but what about the shields?
Oh, that is true, the sentries. We have 2 sentries over here, which is more, I think, than the 0 that Lochka has.
I think so, yeah. With that 1 shield battery is working overtime. It's trying to keep the immortal alive, but it's not enough. And with that, Lochka does have those 2 immortals, and they pose quite a threat to this base.
I was gonna complain about us not having game heart, but actually we do have game heart. It's just surprisingly no probes have fallen until right now.
Yeah. Only now the probes have started to fall, and now it's very difficult for Verrion to defend here. And another immortal has popped out, but it's just 1 when Lochka has those 2.
It's just 1 versus 2, plus a War Prism for juggling.
Yeah.
Still a micro potential here for Lochka that Verrion unfortunately does not have. Natural base just has to be forfeit.
Ooh, and now Verrion is supply blocked as well, so that's even farther, like, you know, stopping his reinforcements from coming into reality.
Yeah, these sentries, they got a lot of work to do with these force fields, but even then with the War Prism, it somewhat mitigates the impact of force fields. Not entirely, obviously, but a little bit.
Yeah, like, I mean, if Lochka wanted to be very committed, like, they could just ferry over the units into the main, and I don't think the stalkers would be able to get there in time.
Yeah, these stalkers don't have blink on them for 1. That wall, not quite a wall. That force field is a force field, but you know, I actually didn't realize that you can have a force field half hanging off into the air.
Yeah. Oh, that single immortal goes forward. A bit of an overextension there from Lochka. I guess it was on a rally. At the same time, though, we have 2 adepts across the map. 2.
2.
2 adepts.
That's more than 1.
Yeah, that is more than 1, and that is more than 1 probes that is going down to those 2 adepts.
Yeah. 6 more than 1, as a matter of fact. And when we're in a situation when both players are on 1 base, this is actually very impactful. This is something that Verrion can utilize to come back into this game, but we still don't have any micro potential on his units. We have the Warp Prism to juggle, and it is coming in clutch here. Both Immortals will fall for Verrion, and without the Immortals, we just don't really have much of a backbone to this army. Battery overcharge is nice, but maybe it might just... No, it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, just barely. The overcharge was not there in time to save the Immortal, and it's not enough to save all those targets. 2 Immortals still stand for Lochka, and it looks like the probes are even being pulled off the line. It looks like he got this game.
Yeah.
Oh, although another Immortal does pop out.
Another Immortal does pop out, but that's going to be the only Immortal that Verrion has. Just look at that income difference.
Yeah, a lot of workers for Verrion have fallen down in this defense. This 1 Immortal is trying its best. There is that shield battery which will help, but Lochka is just slowly but surely chipping away at that base.
Yeah, it's funny to see a war of attrition when both players are on 1 base versus 1 base, but you know, it's still the same principles still apply as if we were looking at the late game. Lochka has more income, has more workers, can actually mine, and has potential to build more units. Verrion, unfortunately, doesn't, and if he loses even one, he's not going to be able to replace him. GG's called. Lochka going to be our second player going to the grand finals. Nicely done.
Nicely done there from Lochka. They are taking this 2-0. And
yeah,
that
very
means...
solid overall throughout this game. Just felt like they had a lot of vision in game number 1, and they were just able to react perfectly every single time. Was caught a little bit off guard here in game number 2, but thankfully for Lochka, I suppose they were going for a bit of an aggressive build regardless, so still was able to reinforce.
I was about to say that both of our players were going for some wild builds there. Like like on one side you had the proxy robo with gateway, and on the other side it's just a battery rush. Just batteries. Like okay, I guess that's what we're doing.
Yeah, you don't see that too often, especially not nowadays. I feel like it is a little bit more common in the non-mirror matchups to go for a battery rush like that, especially in something like PvT. I will always remember, the Void Ray rushes that we had a couple of patches ago, but it has fallen out of favor, and especially has fallen out of favor in PvP.
Yeah, definitely.
If it even was a thing to begin with, like I struggle to think of any major memories that I've ever had, any games that I've witnessed, at any level, any PvPs at any level that involved a battery rush.
Yeah, it has not been a thing for a while now. Like, I remember there was a time when it was very popular, as Yaku has experienced himself firsthand.
6 years, no, 7 years, close to 7 years at this point.
Oh god.
I still have never forgotten.
Yeah, well, anyway, as we now have both of our finalists, we have Maar versus Lochka, and they are getting ready for the best of 5, so we will be taking a quick little break, a bit of 5 minutes break, as we set up those finals and set up the random raffle as well.
Oh boy. Alright, I'm feeling it in my bones this time.
Oh, well, you're not getting it, Yaku. Anyway,
I feel it in my bones.
5 minutes, bah.
Not just the arthritis.
Oh, it's just the arthritis. Oh.
And some chocolate cake.
Welcome back to Sea Duckling Open number 126. As we are about to start the finals, but before that, we have something special prepared.
Indeed we do. Keep your fingers crossed for a little bit of a special raffle that we're going to be coming down here.
Yeah, so our tournaments, all 3 of our tournaments, Sea Duckling Open, Masters 1 Open, and Sparkling Tuna Cup, all 3 of them have a random participant raffle, which means that every player who has played at least one full series, so one full best of 3, is eligible for additional $5 prize. And again, it's completely random, so it can be a finalist, it can be someone who only played in the first round, but that way we try to spread a bit the prize pool to players who aren't always winning these tournaments, but are always showing up.
Yeah. It could be you.
Yeah, it's entirely random. So with that,
Or
the
it
range,
could be me.
the results have been randomized, and our winner for today
Getting a
is.
drum roll.
Hold on, what's that? Panic. It is Legoland.
There we go. Not mad at all.
Yeah, cool. You're never winning. You know that. I definitely didn't rig it, so you don't win.
Yeah, congratulations to Legoland Man coming over here. Fortunately, I hope this does take away a little bit of the sting of the story that you're telling us about the colors. Oh, I definitely don't know what that's like. Kuro can't say, right? Yeah.
I actually don't know that story, Yaku, so you're safe there, because I do not remember that story. But yeah,
yes, this never happened to me.
Never happened. But yeah, in case anybody in the chat doesn't know, it is an option to set your own colors in game, so you never get confused by whatever colors you get in a match. I personally have it set to the light blue, also called teal versus orange, because to me that's the colors that stand out the most on the map. But you know, it's your choice.
I have something similar. I also have my opponent set orange because it stands out the most on the map. But my color is purple because it's a carryover from when Milk used to yell at me.
True. Those were the days. If you know, you know. Anyway.
Yep.
We are now ready for our finals, and we have two of our players that we will soon introduce. Both of them representing very interesting playstyles. And I'm curious to see them in a new matchup today, because we have not casted them in this matchup yet. So without further ado...
Yeah, I don't think we have this.
Yeah, cool. Who do we see in the top right of Ghost River?
Top right! Here we are now. It's loading into our best of 5 grand finals. Best of 5. When you do your prediction, keep the entire 5-game series, or it might not be 5 games, it might be 3, it might be 4, but regardless, when you do your prediction, you're predicting for the entire 5-game series. It's our grand finals. And spawning over here in the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River, we of course have our teal or light blue Protoss player coming down here. Going to be representing Hokago T-Team. We have, you may know them as Nishishi, but they're also known as Lochka.
And across the map, we have their opponent. It is the Purple Zerg player. With his greedy playstyle, once again he's going for a pull first into a hatch, but it looks like it's denied. But anyway, it is our hybrid, Maar.
Yeah, I guess this is one of the advantages of being a Protoss player who scouts.
Yeah, I mean,
you can get a little bit of an earlier hatch block.
Ghost River also has a fairly short distance, so that pro also gets there that much sooner as well.
Yeah, gets a little bit of block, confirms the unnatural natural, but unfortunately for Lochka here, I don't believe they were able to go into the main.
No, I don't think so. I think he only went there for a block. And it looks like Maar's build is not just a CVT build, it's just the build.
Yeah, Blink Team 6, it's very versatile when you think about it.
Yeah, it definitely is, and the wall is actually not closed.
The Adept is not quite going to be out in time, but even if it was, these things would still be able to slip on through. The Adept does pop out, and a couple of probes do get pulled, and that should just about be enough to keep this pylon alive, thankfully.
I do wonder if maybe if Maar focused this pylon, maybe he would be able to take it down. I'm not quite sure how it looks like when the Adept is already out.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I think the Adept will clean up the Zerglings before the pylon goes down.
Well, if it was just the Adept, then maybe, but we also had those pulled probes, so yeah, in the end, I mean, in the end, this Link Team 6 isn't really meant to do damage.
Yes.
It did apply a little bit of pressure over here on Lochka, and it did force a couple of probes off the line. Maar still gets a full scout, so overall, not an ideal trade, but also not one that's necessarily bad.
Yeah, like I don't think Maar was expecting to get anything done there. That said, he plays slightly different than in ZVT matchup because he actually gets another 6 links, I guess, to defend from that Adept. Meanwhile, in ZVT, he would never get any links ever until it was time to attack.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's something that you can get away with in ZVT, but there are ways to counter that as a Terran player. It's just, you know, less likely, depending on the build that the Terran player goes for. It's less likely that they're going to be going for something that aggressive to really impact you, compared to a ZVP, where your Protoss opponent, there we go, is already planning to go on the offensive.
Yeah, we have 2 Oracles, it looks like, will be going across the map. The first one is now staying home for defense, but it will be moving across soon. It was, of course, scouted by Maar with that Overlord earlier, so he should be ready. He doesn't have spores, but he does have 2 queens.
Yeah, depending on the placement, they should just about be enough. We'll see how well Lochka can actually control this Oracle. Pretty well.
He does get 3 drones at the very least, and the queens were not able to kill the Oracle, so it will be coming back earlier together with a friend as well. Once again, there are still no spores on the way, so it looks like Maar is a little bit late on that, so he will have to be very careful about the next attacks.
Yeah, no spores, but we are getting a 4th hatch, because this is Maar we're talking about.
Yeah, 4th hatch, the upgrades are already on the way, like, I mean, that's just the build.
Yeah.
Oh.
If you built spore crawlers, you know, that deviates away, you know?
Oh.
That's resources you could be using to get another hatch.
Okay, Maar is making units. Maar is making Zerglings. Because while the Oracles are killing the works... Oh, actually, no, it is the Adepts that are killing the drones for now. The Oracles are about to move into it, though. They are going into the natural. There is a spore there, but just 1.
Yeah, only 1, so these Oracles can take a couple of shots and back away. 7 more drones go down, which is absolutely vital, especially against a player like Maar, who is making 14 drones to replace them. You absolutely want to do everything you can to keep that drone count low.
But that said, as I pressed the wrong button, Maar has 15 Zerglings, and they're about to be Glaive Adepts.
Yep, how many Adepts do we have right now? About 6 out in the map. So not too many, but you don't really need that many when your opponent has no army.
Yeah, because again, that's what I've been mentioning this whole day, that like Maar build is crazy because it's so vulnerable. Because a lot of times, at a lot of points in game, he just has no units. There's no defense whatsoever. So when those Glaive Adepts roll in, if there is no response to them, they will just take that entire drone count that he built.
Man, now that you mention it, I have the mental image of just rocking up with Hellions.
I mean, Captainfisch tried, but there were so many queens that he couldn't get in.
Well, as always. Anyway, these Glaive Adepts are gonna come in and hit. The Adepts will complete the shade or commit to the shade, and already just 8 drones are starting to go down. We don't really have any more Adepts behind all of this, but we'll see if we actually even need any more Adepts. Pretty good choke point for Lochka to utilize, but yeah, thankfully for Maar, there are still a lot of links now.
Yeah, and even though it looks scary for a moment, I mean, Maar is still alive.
Yeah,
as
Maar
my
is still
throat
alive.
is a bit less so. But
yeah,
he is now moving for a counter-attack. He's moving for a counter-attack. The Adepts are on the map and they are going to his base instead. It looks like they will be missing each other a little bit.
Yeah, Maar just shucking around, scouting for a 4th, and in the end decides not to commit into that third base where there are a bunch of shield batteries and sentries hanging out.
The creep
Saw
spread,
making their way across the map.
the creep spread definitely helps him to be alerted where the adepts decide to attack next, and it looks like he is able to trap some of them at least.
Yeah, not trading too well, but trading well enough to that he is preventing these steps from getting on top of his mineral lines. Doing a good job of main-arding the probes. Drones back and forth as well, but this is still a lot of adepts. These are still glaive adepts. And that's still 8 more drones going down the drain. Maar replacing them as best he can, but we're at a point where he's starting to get his infestation pit, and he's on an even worker count to his Protoss opponent, and that's terrifying.
I mean, to be fair, his Protoss opponent is quite overprobed, but they are also taking the fourth base, so...
Yeah. Doesn't take too much to main art them over. Nice snipe on that Oracle.
Yeah, I feel like we just reached the point where there are so many queens that the oracles can't really get that much done, although they can still be out of position because this base, for example, is not as protected, and neither is this fourth.
Yeah, no queens. Now a single queen, solely for injecting. But not that much at the end of the day. Lochka's just going for it. He's got a couple of immortals over here, which I'm not entirely convinced of what they're going to get done, but he's just going to go across the map with his sentries, with his adepts. He is getting Storm back at home, but he doesn't have any High Templar yet.
I mean, I will see if he needs it, because for now he's forcing the wall of queens, and they are starting to go down. The Zergis are now here to reinforce, but the force fields protect the Protoss army.
They were absolutely beautiful. One decent connection with Banelings would have completely ended this army, but those force fields really came in clutch, allowed these immortals to get so many volleys off. Banelings trying to connect onto Adepts, and they will wipe him out, but the immortals still stand strong. Unfortunately for Lochka, though, there are still plenty of queens, and this is still enough for him to survive. Maar bled out a couple of queens, bled out a couple of Ling Bane, but didn't take any economic damage for once.
Yeah, I mean, it looked very scary for Maar for a minute, but then, you know, after all those adepts blew up at the same point, pretty much, I wonder if it was even like a manual detonation, maybe. And suddenly the Immortals were alone. There was no more support for them, and now the Zerglings are going across the map. There is a small force here to defend, but it's not in the fourth base.
Yeah, probes are starting to go down left and right. An entire mineral line now falls. And for the first time in this game, Maar finds himself at a drone advantage, which he was working towards from the very beginning.
Maar, of course, taking another base, spreading the creep across the map, and, you know, being the swarm Zerg that he is.
Yeah, because you might as well. There was a little point there where I was worried for him. He was down in army supply, and Lochka had a much more potent force as well, but it looks like Maar is starting to rectify that. He's getting a bunch of Ultralists. Oh. But even still, this is a very potent force from Lochka.
Yeah, cool. We're gonna get the Legacy of the Void cinematic showdown of Archons versus Ultras.
Yeah, love to see it, or at least I do. When I'm playing Protoss, a few times that I do. That was a kill, by the way, and not a cancel on that hatchery, so yeah, nice pick off here.
Yeah, definitely a nice little pick out there for Lochka as he slows down at least that base. Same time some Zealots ran base, but ooh, this main army is being stalled by the Ultras.
Yeah, just not quite in the best position right now is the Protoss army. Maar now maxed out, and he is coming in for the full surround. Archons are looking super vulnerable. Ultras are starting to fall, but even still, I think this was a better trade in the end for Maar rather than for Lochka.
Oh, and this Zealot also running straight to the Ultras, and they are being chowed down as well.
F's for the move command, and now I'm looking at the army supply difference, Kuro, and I'm very worried for Lochka.
The War Priest is trying to go back home, but what is home there? I mean, there are two Immortals, but not much to support them, really.
Yeah, but to be fair, there's not much to support these Ultralists either. Oh, unfortunately attacking his own assimilator for a quick little second there was Lochka. Battery overcharge now being popped. His War Prism has so much work to do juggling these immortals. We now have 3 of them out in the map and a really good choke point to utilize, but the 4th base was very, very vulnerable. 10 more probes go down. It looks like Lochka is going to be able to push this back.
The Immortals have a really nice position tucked there behind the minerals, but as all of this is happening, I mean, the probes are falling down. The Ultras aren't only doing damage to the army, but to probes as well, and 13 go down again.
Yeah, well, once again in a situation where that was a much more efficient trade here for Lochka, but considering his economic position, the fact that they traded at all is going to be a net negative for him.
Also, I wonder, does contamination on the Nexus, does it stop the overcharge?
I think it does. No, it doesn't, because just now we saw the contamination Nexus and the battery overcharge, so yeah, I guess it doesn't.
Yeah, but you cannot cast a new one, right?
Huh.
Because it stops production, but I don't know how it works on abilities, because technically
yeah, it
it's an
stops
ability.
production, but technically abilities aren't production. But technically producing is an ability.
Fear Dragon, check this.
Fear Dragon,
we need
get
to
on
know.
this.
We need to know.
We need the confirmation.
Oh, Maar actually expanding to this base, very interesting.
Yeah, might as well.
Another round of Zerg is now in the 4th base of the Protoss. More Banelings, more Ultras, a lot of Archons though.
Yeah, Banelings are going to crash into the mineral line, wipe all of them out, but the entire army, the entire Zerg army, is also forfeit to get there. Maar might have been able to, well, I was going to say might have been able to remax earlier, but he has spent his bank, but then I realized he spent his bank because he just remaxed, so.
Yeah, there's still more Ultras. There's still so many Queens, but actually, you know what? Maar is working on a Greater Spire. He has a plan beyond this.
Yeah.
I think
is now
he has a plan.
Out, and Brute Lords would just be a really good way of shutting all of this down. Another kill on that hatchery in particular. And Lochka, he is well aware that he has the better army for the time being. If he was ever going to win the game, it would be right now by winning the fight and then having enough momentum to keep this push going. But there's just so many queens, so many ultras. I will say that the one thing going Lochka's way, funnily enough, is the fact that Maar is maxed out, because this means that he can't produce any Brute Lords. He can't make any of the units that he wants to make right now, but he is still building up a bank behind all of this, so after even just one engagement, Maar is going to be able to do all that.
Also, this is a crazy army from Lochka as well. Like, it's so immortal. I have so many Archons as well. It's all the beef.
Yeah, all the beef, none of the chicken.
And it's going through the Ultras quite nicely, but there are still more reinforcements. The Queens are starting to fall though.
Yeah, these Zealots are actually the MVPs right now. They're holding the line so well, preventing these Ultralists from getting on top of any of the key units. We have a Storm, which might not really be necessary, but is still nice to have. We are completely out, however, of anti-air for Protoss.
Yeah, and it looks like that was enough. The single Broodlord has helped a little bit. The Zerglings definitely did, as they ran straight into those Immortals, and the entire army of Lochka has been taken down. There are no defenses. There are a few Archons, a few High Templars. There are no defenses across the map.
Yeah. As we said earlier, if there was ever a time for Lochka to win the game, it was right then and there. The fact that he didn't win means that he's not gonna. GG is called, and Maar debuting game number 1.
Turns out, the Maar build still works. Even in ZVP.
Yeah. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that if you build a lot of economy and get a lot of units, you eventually will be able to overwhelm. Now, that was, I think, a really good attempt from Lochka to really be aggressive in the early game, come in with all of those adepts, and really mess up the mineral line. I mean, it was only until about it was only until we got to Hive Tech, I think, when Maar was actually able to overtake Lochka when it comes to the worker count. But
Yep, but
yeah, I think there just wasn't really enough of a follow up here from Lochka after the initial harass.
But that is the thing, that like the initial harassment looked well for Lochka. Like he was actually doing damage to Maar, and Maar was like kinda, you know, not really able to keep up with the defense of like the adepts were like kept getting damage and so on. But at some point he just like overpowered it. Like it wasn't even that, like, oh, he cleaned it up. Like at some point he just had more. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he just kept producing more and more drones, and he was heavily reliant on queens in the defense, which obviously you should be as a Zerg player. But I think this was really a game that exemplifies the value of queens as an early game defensive unit, as well as the value of counterattacking even with just a few units to keep your opponent distracted. Or even just a few Zerglings to keep your opponent distracted.
I mean, yeah, some Zerglings did some good damage across the map, so even though like they weren't able to like break the Protoss, it was enough to slow down the max out of the army, and it was enough time for Maar to make an army of his own.
Yeah. Just build a lot of drones. How does the song go? All I do is drone? No, it's drone so hard.
Oh. Drone so hard.
That's all you need.
What? Oh yeah,
they have the same colors.
I forgot. Oh no. But they spawned at different sides.
Pick it up. Pick it up.
Hold on. So this is,
pick it up. 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 Oi, oi, oi!
And then this is steel, and
the colors.
The colors is steel. And there's a game going on, and I hope nobody's proxying because I probably wouldn't notice. And then I have to do this. And
oh, what's that pylon doing?
Okay.
Oh, but then, what the hatchery for? Oh,
what?
Anyway, we're gonna be. That was a premonition of things to come, not necessarily this game. Anyway, here we are going to be continuing our series now on Alcyone, over here in the top right hand corner of the map, spotting all the way in the top right hand corner of Alcyone, L-E. L-E, of course, standing for Los Empanadas. Los Empanadas.
Oh.
Aye, they're tasty.
They are, actually.
In the top right, we have our Steel Protoss player coming on and representing Hokago T-Team. You may know them as Nishishi, but they're also known as Lochka.
Oh!
What'd I tell you?
Oh! As we have across the map, we have the purple Zerg player. It is Maar. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's a very, very important thing. As we were doing the intros, I noticed that Maar delayed the hatchery. He made the pool, but the drone was not moving out. He was at like 400 minerals, and the drone was not moving out.
We're gonna have the mineral walk.
Yes. As the probe saw the drone move out, but the probe was taken down, and that's when the drones came out.
Yeah, drones are now out, and they did try to go for the little bit of the mineral wall, or the mineral walk, but very clutch. Throwing down of the shield battery coming out here from Lochka will prevent Maar from getting on top of all of this. 2 adepts will be out, but we'll see if those 2 adepts are gonna be enough. Lochka, behind all of this, gonna need to continue to re-wall and re-wall and re-wall.
I mean, that said, like, Maar has no workers. There's like maybe 2 workers gathering minerals, if at all. Actually, no, there's none. This is all.
Yeah, where we're going, we don't need no mining.
If he loses that forest, this is it. And just like that, Just like the Lochka takes game number 2.
Alright then. That was a clutch shield battery. I feel like we went from 0 to 11. We just exploded immediately in that game. We exploded, and then it was a very hot flame, so it burnt out quickly, unfortunately. But yeah, that was neat. That was not. I don't think something any of us were expecting from Maar specifically, based on how he's been playing, how they've been playing tonight.
And that is exactly why I loved it. I love that Maar, which entire tournament has been playing this crazy greedy style, he just goes all in, just sends it.
Like, I just like when boys are pulled.
Yeah, but like every game you see him like do for this very greedy build, and like it looks like that's just the build, and then he just chooses it. He just goes for it. That's a really smart play there by Maar, but it didn't work for him.
Yeah, unfortunately not. I mean, it might be a map thing, you know, maybe he just doesn't like playing on Alcyone, which can't say I blame him. I think a lot of Zerg players specifically have said that they're not too fond of playing CVP on Alcyone, but still, now we know that at the very least that there are 2 builds from Maar.
I mean, technically you could say pre-builds. As we
There's
have
at least
loaded.
2.
I mean, there are 2 openings. As we have loaded into our 3rd game already. Wow, it's already the 3rd game. And we are looking at the base of our light blue / teal Protoss player, known as Nishishi, but also known as Lochka.
And spawning over here in the top left-hand corner, I'm spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, LE. LE, of course, standing for Likeness Extra. That's when somebody makes a portrait of you, and then they throw in like a little bonus right at the end there. It's nice to have. In the top left-hand corner of the map, starting only in the top left, we have a purple Zerg player known for being very greedy, but switching things up, changing things, shaking it quite a bit in our last map. We have our player representing themselves, as far as we can tell, Maar.
Yeah, I don't know if you were here before, but Maar, have you played the campaign, Jaco?
I played a campaign. No, I've played I've never finished Wings, but I've played Heart of Swarm and Legacy of the Void. I didn't do the epilogue.
Okay, I think Maar is actually in Wings. I'm not sure, but it is a hybrid. Maar is a hybrid in the campaign. So that is where the name is coming from. I mean, in the loading screen you could see that Maar does have the hybrid portrait, so he is Maar. Apparently.
Well, it makes sense.
Do you think he offers his Protoss?
No.
Why not?
Because I think that was part of the lore, right? That Protoss was dirty.
No, but it's a hybrid, so it's both Zerg and Protoss. So that makes sense if you play both.
Is that how that works?
I guess?
Wait, hold up. Is it really a hybrid if... Wait, I might be mistaken here. From what I remember, it was Zerg and Protoss have the common ancestor who are the hybrids.
No, I think hybrids were made later.
Okay, then. Whatever I was thinking is false.
I mean, I may be wrong, but I think hybrids were made later. Like, they created hybrids from Zerg and Protoss. That's why they're called hybrids.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It might be another one of those misleading name things.
No. I'm pretty sure they were created. I mean, Subsarian would correct me, but unfortunately he's not here. As we have 2 adepts coming into the base of Maar. Oh.
Vanilla adepts, but we are getting glaives behind all of this as well. That's a little bit of an earlier lair, but regardless. Now we do get that full scout, and these 2 vanilla adepts are just absolutely going to town. We only have 2 links to defend. And Lochka just doesn't care. He's just going for more drones.
I mean, again, this is the weakness of Maar's build, that he has no units to defend. Those links are trying their best, but they're not able to stop the adepts in time. And in total, 10 drones go down. Of course, Maar will make up for those losses, as he does drone quite heavily. But considering that glaive adepts are coming next, he may be a bit too late on the reinforcing.
Yeah, I think Lochka might have realized or recognized what went wrong after game number 1, in that he wasn't quite able to keep the pressure going. I think if Lochka is able to just continue hammering away at these mineral lines, then eventually Maar is gonna end up crumbling.
Yeah, we have to keep in mind that Maar is going for a different build though, as in he is going for the Roach variant this time, which will be much better at dealing with the adepts. The problem is, the Roaches are not here yet.
Yeah, we have 1 in production.
1.
And that's all we have. We are supply blocked a little bit. Maar is supply blocked a little bit, so yeah, these overlords are gonna make up for that, but even still, we just don't really have any defenses out.
I was going to make such a good transition to the Shades, but then he cancelled.
That's annoying when players do that, you know?
Yeah, but we say that 7 drones falling down, and there will be more than a single Roach trying its best to defend from the adepts, but it's not able to do so. The Queen goes down as well. The drones try to escape, but I don't know if they will be able to. The adepts are going straight into the main base. More drones are going to die.
Yep, 12, 13 drones. That's more than 1 mineral line, and now Lochka, as a Protoss player, is up 20 workers to his Zerg opponent. Now, Maar does have a pretty decent Roach count, and Lochka doesn't have that many defenses back at home, but Blink is on the way. +1's about to finish up. If we can just warp in a couple more Stalkers and fight within shield battery range, I think Lochka has this in the bag.
We'll see about that. I mean, at the very least, Maar will be able to deny this 3rd base, as it is completely unprotected right now. But the Stalkers are not here.
Yeah, they are. Shield battery is looking vulnerable, and it will survive. And now it's going to be even more difficult for Maar to come in and go for a counterattack.
I want to say, unfortunately for Maar, he has to do what he does best. He just has to draw. He just has to outgreed the Protoss somehow.
Now, is that unfortunate?
That's my point. Like, on one hand, I mean, that's literally the thing that he does. But on the other hand, I feel like because of how it started, it will be way more difficult for him to do so.
I think it's one of those things where Maar droning a lot works well, or is something that he wants to do when he wants to do it. You know, it hits different when you have to go for, when you have to do nothing but drone, right?
I mean, he's still making some Roaches, so they will help in the defense. I don't think the Glaive Adepts will be nearly as effective now as the forces are here, but that said, 5 drones still.
Yeah, 5 drones still go down, and 2 Adepts. Okay, they were a little bit idle, so yeah, finally, Maar is going to be able to take them out. Yeah. They're like, we're dead, right? But then how come we can still feel pain? Maar now just trying to once again out-macro his opponent, getting this 4th base, but Lochka going double robo, getting ready with those Colossus. Pretty soon is going to look to move across the map with Colossus, with Blink Stalkers, ideally Sentries as well. Yeah,
double Robocalls will definitely have this army. And we will have a lot of Stalkers to support this Colossus as well, so they will not be alone. I hope.
I will say it's an interesting choice here from Lochka to go for double Colossus as opposed to double Disruptor, especially since he knows that Maar is committed more so to Roaches this time, but I suppose it is a little bit more reliable.
Yeah, it
Colossus,
is more
I mean.
reliable. And it's also, Colossus is just a tall Stalker.
Yeah. It's big, it's tall. How more do you want?
Look at these Zealots just following the Stalkers like, no, go away.
F's in the chat, he just wanted to be part of the army. He just wanted to be one of you. But they never accepted him.
Yeah, the Ravagers are now here, and actually it's an interesting fight coming down here with the Stalkers and the Ravagers. The terrain is breaking the positions a little bit.
There's some decent control coming out from Lochka, though, avoiding too many losses on these Stalkers. Maar catching back up once again. Economically, but he's still behind the worker count, and he's on an even base count at this point.
I was gonna say, Lochka actually taking a 4th base quite early as well, so keeping up with the Zerg economy, and now the Ravagers are now trapped between the two Colossus. I mean, to be fair, who is trapped here?
Yeah, you're not trapped in here with me. You're trapped in here with GG. Lochka gonna be taking game number 3.
Yeah, see, it looks like Lochka has finally figured that out. Finally figured out that, like, you really have to put pressure on Maar early on, and like, it's very important to keep that pressure, like, to not let him overpower you, because if you do, like, he will just out macro you slowly but surely. But if you don't let him have that advantage, like, suddenly the game looks very different.
Yeah, you know, if you don't let him have that advantage, then he just has no advantage.
Ah. We figured it out.
Yeah.
You have to play the game. Yeah, cool.
Exactly. Just don't let your opponent get any advantage, yeah?
Yeah. It just deny the advantage of your opponent and get an advantage of your own. That's how you win games.
Yeah.
And you want to
If your
win
opponent
games.
has an advantage, yeah. If you remove your opponent's advantage, they don't have it. But yeah, I think Lochka has definitely, aside from recognizing what his opponent likes to do here, what Maar likes to do here, and then, you know, reacting accordingly, I think Lochka has also tightened up quite a few things here and there. It looked like his control, specifically on his Adepts, was a lot tighter this time, compared to on Ghost River as well.
Yeah, I think so. I think definitely has been improving over there. And see, the thing is, now I'm curious what Maar does. Because Lochka
it's gonna be another roach drone pull.
I don't know that, because it did not work for him the last time he tried. And
well, yeah, but that's why he's not gonna be expecting it.
Sure. I mean, fair point. Yeah, sure. Because the thing is, Lochka is on match point, and Maar has already, like, showed both the drone pool side of things and the macro side of things. So the question is, does he try the macro again? Because it did work for him game 1. So does he try the macro again? Or does he go for a completely different build we haven't seen today?
I hear what you're saying, and I think I agree. It's time to Bane Bust.
See, I don't know if you're serious, but I think you're actually right.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't mind a Bane Bust, honestly. A good Bane Bust. But, I don't know, because the thing is, Lochka is opting for those Adepts, so he always has a lot of Adepts. But Adepts also die to Banelings.
Yeah. You know, at a certain point, you're gonna run out of room to micro, to kite, to go back.
I feel like we have to figure it out. We will see how it goes if Maar
Well-
decides to... Because Maar has played games where he just went like macro Link Bane and it was just a lot of banings. But like
Link
the
Bane
question
into
is...
Ultra.
Yeah, Link Bane into Ultra. The question is,
So-
does he go like banings like earlier?
No, he doesn't. What he does is he goes Ultras earlier.
Oh, just rush Ultra?
Yeah,
Okay.
what more do you
see.
need?
Sure. Yeah, just Ultra. Just go big Zergling.
Exactly. You know, Zerg? It's good. Big Zerg. That's just better. That's just more Zerg to love.
True, it's just more. Yes, I have to set up the names again, so please.
Yep,
Hold,
but
please.
regardless, we are going to be continuing our series. We're now going to be loading into Oceanborn. LE. LE, of course, standing for lack of enchiladas. Lack of enchiladas. That's when you need more enchiladas. And we are now on Oceanborn, as we previously mentioned, and we are potentially going to be on the final map. We'll see how it goes, as our player over here in the top left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the top left, is on match point. You're going to be representing Hokago T-Team. You may know them as Nishishi, but they're also known as Lochka.
And across the map we have their opponent. It is our purple Zerg player, showing us both the macro and the cheesy side of things today. It is the hybrid, Maar. And this time he was able to take that natural base. The third is being watched over though by that probe.
Yeah, very diligent. Making sure that it isn't quite taken. Now, here's the thing about drones. I think we've established that they do mind using their teeth, but when they attack, it looks like they're boxing.
Oh no, yeah, 100%. They are punching. Drones do
Yeah.
punch others. Yeah, yeah, they're boxers. I mean, we literally had like a whole. Remember, we have like a whole clip of this one drone just punching a pylon. It looks like it's punching like a training bag.
Yeah, you can sandbag. It's the Rocky drone.
Yeah. As it looks so far we have the same opening as usual with the 6 links trying to get the pylon, the adept about to pop out. The probes once again
Yeah,
get
they're gonna
pulled,
be
but
able to
this time Maar focuses.
Yep, and the pylon will go down. Thankfully for Lochka, the adept does pop out, so no drone damage over here, but this is still a massive depowering of the wall. I say no drones go down, but 3 probes end up falling right
I
at the
mean,
end
yeah,
there. But
the drones were not.
yeah,
fun.
that's the probes do go down, but that's the least of Lochka's worries here, as there's such a huge delay on everything else.
Also, a perfect scout from Maar flying right over that Stargate. He knows exactly where it's going down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
Full
curious. I'm curious what is Maar going for? Like, is it just gonna be a repeat of game number 1 with the Link Bane into Ultra? Is he gonna try something else? Like, we'll see.
Well, we have 3 bases.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 bases, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Yaku, for keeping us up to date.
I gotta remember if it was the same as the last game. I think previously Maar did go for an early 3 hatch though, so.
Yes,
I think it was on Ghost River. It was a little bit delayed because of the pylon block, but
yeah, one was
even
denied.
still.
One was denied, but generally, if he can, he will go for the 3 hatches. And before speed too. Like, there's no speed, no gas, no nothing.
Yeah, he just likes his base. He just likes to mine.
While the adepts are trying to poke at the base of the Zerg, but they're not getting too much damage done, and this time there is no glaives coming. Not yet.
Yeah, not quite. We do have oracles on
there.
the way, but spores have already been set up. Queen gonna be just going on a little bit of an excursion, but now gonna be turning around as I believe it's wondering if it left the stove on or it suddenly realized or remembered it left the stove on.
Yeah, don't you hate that? And then like coming home and like, no, everything is turned off. What do you mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's where you're going with that. I thought you meant you end up coming home and the house burnt down.
No, that's Ares. That's just Ares.
That is, yeah.
For those who don't know
Not
that
right.
story, there is a story. There is a clip of it somewhere. You should look it up.
Yeah. Exclamation mark Discord in chat. Find our
Ooh,
old duck
actually-
tapes.
Actually, that Overlord does supply block Maar. Not for long, but still, that's quite annoying.
Yeah, it can mess up. It can mess up a little bit when it comes to your build order, especially if you're playing such a drone-heavy style like Maar typically likes to do. But you know what? Good guy Lochka coming in over here. He knows that Maar was supply blocked, so he cleaned up a little bit of supply by taking out 2 drones. Even sacrifice an oracle to do so. This is, you know, it's just such a nice move to do. You know, it's such a nice thing to do for a friend.
Yeah. Like it. What don't you do for a friend? Like you can even lose the oracle.
Yeah.
But anyway, it looks like once again Maar is going for roaches. I guess he is a bit afraid about the repeat of the glaive adepts, but there are no glaive adepts coming.
Yeah, once again, Lochka with the big brain, completely fooling Maar in this regard, and we'll see if this ends up impacting him. As, like you pointed out, Lochka not opting for the glaives, but is still setting up for a very potent timing. That's a Robo Bay now on the way.
Oh, so I
And
guess
a second Robo facility.
I guess we'll be going for Colossus again then, maybe.
Yeah, potentially. Like these 2 adept shades, just not quite able to do too much, but immediately the threat of the adepts just forces the drones away.
I mean, yeah, I guess Maar is a bit scarred by the adepts doing a lot of damage before.
Yeah, they will get cleaned up in the end, but you can tell there's a little bit of adept trauma coming down.
Where is it? Where is it? Oh, okay, I see it. I thought it was in the bases, but no. There's a protective stasis ward set up. Just saw it on the production tab.
Ward that I don't think actually is in a good position to catch anything.
A
That's a
recon,
lot of
right?
choke point. Maybe.
Because this is where the entrance is, like
There's
the
still a little
other
bit of a
side is
gap.
walled. There is. That is true.
You could go over the assimilator.
I guess you expect the link to come from this side, so then they would like wrap around the buildings from here.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that. You have another stasis ward, which is in a little bit of a better position, IMO.
Oh, and the Zerg is running into the bases, not quite there into the stasis yet, but now one of them does get triggered.
Yeah, one of them gets triggered, but not too many units who get caught in it. The Colossus are not out, however. Biles not quite landing on the shield battery, but it finally does get taken out. Is this enough, Zerg? It looks like we have plenty of roaches, plenty of ravagers. A lot of gateways went down, so not too much production over here for reinforcements. Lochka, he's kiting as best he can. He is keeping his Colossus alive. But these stalkers are starting to thin out, and there's still plenty more Zerg where that came from.
I mean, it is pretty close. Like, those Colossus are still alive and they still have a base to back off to, but as you said, the support is gone. Now the Colossus are alone and they are starting to go down.
Yeah, even though a lot of these reinforcements are Lings, when the Colossus doesn't have much of a buffer, it doesn't matter if it's Lings or if it's Ultras. They are still taking heavy damage.
The Colossus tries to stand on top of the ramp to do as much
Oh.
damage as it can to the army, but there are more and more reinforcements coming from Maar. The Colossus trying to escape.
Colossus will go down, but we do have 2 Colossus immediately replacing them. What we don't have replacements for, however, are these 30 probes going down and all of these gateways. I mean, Lochka is trying to replace the gateways at the very least. He is trying to build up his forces, but there's still so much Zerg coming across the map.
Yeah, and even with all this damage, the roaches are still going forward. The Colossus are trying to escape. They reach the edge of the base. The roaches are trapped by the probes, but there will be more.
Yeah, the probes, or the roaches, will eventually get taken out, but so do the probes. We have 16 workers remaining here for Lochka. Even if he does somehow survive this, he's not gonna be alive for too much longer. Maar coming in this time, completely shaking things up with a roach timing. Looks like he is gonna take us to our ace match. GG. Very nicely done.
GG indeed. This time Maar was very committed to this attack. He just moved across the map and he did not let go until he was able to break through the Protoss base, and turns out the Colossus alone were not enough to hold off all of those roaches.
Yeah, not quite. Now this is a little bit of a different style of roach all-in compared to what we typically see. I believe the standard build is to stop at around 50 or 40 something drones, and Maar had 70 by the time he pushed out. But he was also allowed to go up to 70 drones, wasn't he? Just because there wasn't as much harass this time.
Yeah, because Lochka didn't go for the adepts, didn't go for the glaives. Like, the adepts were still there, but without the glaives they weren't able to get as much damage as in previous games. And turns out that was kind of the key. Like, the damage early on is what really kept Maar like in the line, you know, in the earlier games.
Yeah. So once again, it just goes to show that when you don't take away your opponent's advantage,
yes,
they'll have an advantage.
Yeah, you have to keep an eye on the advantage of your opponent, because if your opponent has an advantage and you do not have an advantage, like, that's just how you lose games.
Yeah. You ever think about it that way? Your opponent has the advantage, they have an advantage.
And then you have a disadvantage if you don't have an advantage.
Exactly.
I
seems so,
I have SteelMalt is enjoying this.
It just seems like it's something that not too many... It seems like it's something that not too many people realize, but, it is how it works. It is how it is. When you don't win, or rather when you lose, you don't win.
And to make sure that you don't have a disadvantage over your opponent, make sure that you stay hydrated, make sure to stretch, as we have like a minute or two before the lobby is set up. This is a great point to make sure that you have something to drink and get ready for this final game of this monthly tournament. As a reminder, this tournament, if you want to contribute to this specific tournament, this edition, the 126, you can do so over at Macherino. But if you want to support the tournaments in general, if you want to see them keep going, if you want the prize pool to potentially even get higher in the future, then check out our Patreon, because all of these tournaments that we run are run through Patreon, and it's thanks to the support of our patrons that we are able to do so. So thank you very much, and thank you for supporting these players as we are about to load into game number 5.
The final game, the final map of the final match of the grand finals of the evening. Of the final cast that we have, at least for today. It's all final. And speaking of finality, we are gonna be coming in to our final map. Everything hinges on Site Delta. LE. Heli, of course, standing for lactose. Escalation. Lactose escalation. That's when you have milk and more milk. And just a lot of milk coming
cool.
down.
Is that
and
when
dairy.
Is that what happens when you milk mews?
No, it's what happens when milk yells at me.
Ah, okay.
Escalates. Lactose. Anyway, here we are now on Site Delta, LE. We're of course here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom right. Lactose escalation is also known as training sessions with milk. Anyway, in the bottom right-hand corner, we have a Teal Protoss player going to be representing Hokago T team. We have, you might know them as Nishishi, but they're also known as Lochka.
And across the map we have our purple Zerg player who was able to tie this up. It is currently 2-2, and we'll see if maybe they can bring it to the final, or will the Protoss take it? It is Maar.
All comes down to this, and I was half expecting another drone rush coming out here from Maar, because why not? It's the ace match, so might as well. But it looks like he is keeping things safe for the time being.
Yeah, I feel like the thing is that because it didn't work last time, like he just doesn't think that it's viable, Not in this match specifically, Like Lochka looks way too prepared for it. Like, see, even the links don't even dive in. They're like, nah, not doing that.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, they can already see the chrono. They already know that the adept is about to pop out, or you can make an educated guess just based on the timing, just based on the timer over in the above the mini map. That typically. It's going to be an adept, so might as well not try to dive on the pylon. Might as well instead, what's the opposite of dive? Jump away.
Yeah, and it looks like Lochka is going for an early Twilight Council this time. That's the tech of choice. Oh, yeah, cool.
Look.
Do you think what I'm thinking?
Oh, yes.
What is it?
It's what you're thinking.
Ah. I'm like, what have we not had today yet? And I'm already wrong. I was like, we have not had DTs.
That's what I was thinking.
That DTs, I feel like DTs would work well. Even though, Maar does go for a layer fairly early. Usually he has spores, but even then, I feel like DTs could do some damage because they would just sneak around. But it looks like it is Glaives after all.
Yeah, it depends on how you want to utilize your DTs. It can be a little bit tricky to deal with them, even if you do have detection in the early game. But Maar himself, is I wouldn't necessarily say taking this seriously, but he is playing a bit more defensively compared to what we previously saw. Those are 8-lings that we have right now instead of typical 6.
Ooh, and he saved the 6 from earlier. They went back home. He didn't just send them across the map. He did send them, but they did come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, Maar,
he sent them across the map, and then he sent them across the map again.
Oh.
But the other way.
Oh, look.
Yeah, see, we were right.
I was right.
Yeah.
I was right. It's funny.
DTs.
It's funny because apparently I know something about this game.
Yeah.
I am very proud of myself, just so you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have the warpies going across the map. The direction is not ready yet, but it is halfway done. So for now, it will be just a small adept force that will be harassing over here. But I am very curious if Maar will be prepared for those DTs, because so far he has no idea.
Yeah, doesn't have any spore crawlers or anything like that. He hasn't. There's no reason for him to suspect DTs or anything like that is on the way. I mean, Glaives did finish up, and it's not often nowadays, at least, that we see DTs as a follow-up to Glaive Adepts.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, if we do see DTs, it's just vanilla Adepts.
Yeah, and he has seen Lochka play the Glaive Adepts before, so I guess you would assume that he's just going for the same build.
Typically, yeah. I like how Lochka is also playing this out with his Adepts. He is going to mineral lines, but it's also a case of he's, scouting the mineral lines to see which ones have detection. We do have an Overseer with the main army, so it is going to be... We will have detection regardless, but we don't have detection yet, and these DTs are on top of this mineral line.
Oh, but the entire army is here as well, so even though the DTs are not being killed right now, like just the body blocking alone is very bothersome.
Without a doubt. Even still, drones are starting to go down. We only have one Overseer. That's the only detection that this army has.
No, all these drones are just sitting.
So just splitting up the DTs is gonna work wonders right now for Lochka.
Unfortunately, it looks like Lochka aimed with the DT because it just attacks the lair instead of the drones. Very unfortunate there, because I feel like that single DT could do a lot of damage in the natural base, as Maar wasn't quite paying attention to it.
Yeah, I mean, he still takes out 4 more drones, but it could have been a lot more. There was a lot of potential here for Lochka. He could have been ahead 20 workers, but instead he's only ahead 18 workers.
Look.
Wait, 18?
But
he could have been ahead a lot of workers. Now he's only ahead a bunch of workers.
Yeah, but now his advantage will be tested as the roaches are going across the map. We have 3 mortars though and a shield battery to add to that as well. The first base is under attack though.
Yeah, gotta force a delay on that and get a kill on both the pylon and the shield battery. DT finally gets cleaned up. Now we have 2 Overseers.
I mean, as one DT gets cleaned up, another one walks into the natural base, and the Queen alone is not able to stop it in time. More workers are going down.
Yeah, as the old saying goes, as one DT gets cleaned up, another gets dirty.
So what?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a lore question. Do you think Protoss take baths? Do you think they shower?
They don't have to. I don't think they have to. Because they have shields, right? Because they already have shields, which protect them from dirt and stuff.
Are you sure? Does the shield actually protect them from like sand and stuff?
I think that's how it works. I mean, it kind of protects them from sun, as in like, they protects them from like radiation and sunburn, but they still need the sun for photosynthesis.
But then, do they like?
They also don't have shoes, so.
Yeah, but do they like willingly activate it, or does it just activate on contact? Because then you would. Oh, the warp is going down. The queens were prepared.
Yeah, unfortunately, warp prism goes down, so that's going to be about the end of the harassment potential here for Lochka. But he's about to push out. I say that as he throws down a third. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, if they don't activate it at will, but it's like automatically activated, then it would be hard for them to like hold objects because they would like be bounced off by the shield. But
that is accurate.
But if they do activate it like on command, then would you have to like constantly think about like, I don't want sun in my shoes. I don't want sun in my shoes. Like. It makes no sense.
I mean, they don't wear shoes.
True, but like, you know what I mean. Like, I don't want sand in my armor.
Right, they would have to constantly be thinking it consciously.
Yeah, like you would have to constantly like turn it on to make sure that
it's Or is it like breathing in the sense that you do it automatically, but the minute you start thinking about it, it's not automatic?
Oh.
A lot of roaches and ravagers coming down, and that's a really good choke point to utilize.
Yeah, a lot of shield batteries here though, but they are running out of energy and going down as well.
Yeah, we don't have a battery overcharge available, unfortunately, for Lochka, as the Nexus is only now about to finish up, but with the last of the biles being thrown down, I think Maar has taken a look at the army, the amount of beef in the Protoss army, and realized that, yeah, my supply is a little bit inflated. I can't really fight that right now.
And there's another one joining in. Yeah, a lot of Immortals in that army. The roaches definitely don't feel comfortable facing that, but they will try nonetheless. Some reinforcements are joining in, and ooh, maybe we'll catch these zealots. Maybe no.
Not quite. And now, Lochka is in a pretty good position to go for a pincer or for a flank.
Yeah, the changelings are gonna scout what is going on in the Protoss base, and it looks like the entire Protoss army is going to face the roaches, but now it looks like we are just dancing a little bit.
Yeah, it's a very delicate dance that we're doing right now. You don't want to overstep. You don't want to get on top of your partner's toes.
Yeah, you don't want to get a disadvantage in a dance.
Exactly. You see, the thing about dancing...
I mean, the person who misses the step is the person who loses, right?
Yeah, the person who misses the step is the one who doesn't have the step.
The TT.
You need the step.
Oh, the TT.
Instantly taken out.
It's just like hit a wall of roaches. It's just evaporated.
It's painful. Yeah. As Maar now getting ready for round 2 with all these roaches, it looks like the Zealot run by is doing a lot to take out some drones, so yeah, Maar needs to reciprocate the damage, but it is going to be very difficult. Battery overcharge does get popped, and all of these Immortals just keeping all the roaches at bay.
The force fields definitely help as well to make sure that the roaches are spread out. They aren't all in the same location, but the force fields are running out.
Yeah, force fields starting to run out. Battery overcharge is on cooldown now. Still have a lot of Immortals, but we don't really have an easy way to micro them. We don't have any shield batteries to rely on anymore.
Yeah, and suddenly all the support for those Immortals is gone. There are just a few Stalkers, a few Zealots left over, and these Immortals were in danger. Some of them got very low, but it looks like it was just enough to hold it, and Zerg is actually going back.
Yeah, it kind of has to. I mean, I think overall that was a better trade for Maar, a much more efficient trade for Maar, but look at the worker difference now. At the start of that engagement, Maar was up, I think, 15 drones or something like that. Now he's actually slightly behind.
Yeah, those Zealot roundbys definitely helped a lot for Lochka. Like, Maar was distracted with the frontal engagement and he didn't quite pay enough attention to his bases, and yeah, losing a lot of workers there.
Yeah, finally he is starting to catch back up, and he is ahead a base, so not too bad, but now we have another round, and this time, even though there's a lot more roaches and ravagers, Lochka has been able to remake his Immortals, has been able to remake his Archons as well. Needs to be careful about these biles though. One Archon gonna go down after eating 2 biles to the face.
Yeah, the force fields are being denied as well. The sentries are getting focused, so that meant still some good force field, but there's much less of them than last time.
And it's when you have fewer force fields, you just don't really have as many force fields to work with.
Yeah, now the Immortals are starting to go down. The entire support for them is gone. There are just Ravagers here though, so they do fall quite easily to the Immortals. But they have to be kited. The shield batteries are completely out of energy, and there are the reinforcements for the Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, reinforcing roaches though, which do fall rather quickly to Immortals. We also have a couple of Zealots in the flank. This is starting to get insanely close, but looking at the supply, I think Maar has just about enough to keep this going. Or not.
The overcharge saves the Immortals just barely. They have to clean up the rest of the roaches, making sure that this base is safe to mine, and yeah, Lochka holds for now.
Yeah, nicely done. But what about a natural base? Okay.
No,
Can't
they all
quite go
just
up
do go
natural
back.
base,
Yeah.
and they'll go back, and they fight at the bottom of the ramp, which is not what you want to do at all.
Yeah, so some good engagements there for Lochka, and even though his situation is not looking great, he is able to hold off for now. Like, he is holding those attacks, and you know, he can do more harassment across the map still.
And those were some very dedicated pushes from Maar. The fact that he wasn't quite able to deal much economic damage. I mean, I think 8 probes went down, which is all right, but still not a great trade for Zerg. Now he really has to go back, and he needs to go back to the drawing board and think, okay, I cannot break Lochka with my current army. I need to be thinking ahead, and that's why we have the Ultra Cavern. That's why we have +1 melee on the way.
Yeah, I think... Oh, now that you mention it, this is something... Oh, sorry.
Oh.
I have a pause. This is something very interesting, because normally Maar would have his melee upgrades like early on, but this time, because he committed to roaches, he went for the range instead. So now these ultras will also need to catch up on the upgrades.
Yeah, funnily enough. I mean, ultras are pretty beefy. They can survive a lot of hits, but without upgrades, they're not really doing a lot of damage either, especially when your opponent is mostly Immortal and Archon heavy, and Stalker heavy.
Game resumed.
Thankfully, I'm not ref.
Yep.
Whew.
But
So I actually did hit the pause button. I was like, oh, let's go. Before you start the countdown, I was like, oh, right, this is why I'm not ref.
yeah, exactly, Yako. This is why you're not fresh.
Yeah. Ling's trying to see what damage he can get done, which is obviously not a whole lot, or any. But does confirm the 4th.
Ah, the Overlord went for a vacation.
Oh, look, it's enjoying the waves.
Yeah, it's just looking at the waves.
Crashing. Oof. I'll have to feel it.
Oh,
You ever feel
it wants
that
to go into the
when you're...
water.
Yeah, it wants to so bad, but unfortunately it floats. Yeah, it's too heavy. Or no, too...
It's too balloony.
The opposite of heavy. Yeah, too balloon.
Oh. At least it can like touch the
An
tree.
Overlord Beach Ball would be fun.
Oh my god. I mean,
Just
yeah,
throw it around.
You could. I mean, but would it still have the tentacles? It was just like smack you
Yeah.
in the face.
Yeah, otherwise what's the point?
Someone get on it. We need the merch.
Garbots, you know what to do.
And we already have a cardboard overlord plushie.
We
think I actually have one.
but it doesn't float, unfortunately. Or I guess
True.
it might float in water. I haven't tested
Nah,
it.
I don't think so.
Well. DT Harass has been pretty good so far from Lochka, but now kindness plating, chitness plating, about to finish up. Don't quite have anabolic synthesis yet, so these ultras are not quite going to be as fast as they could be.
It looks like for
But
the
they are
time
on the
being,
way.
looks for the time being, both our players are building up their armies, getting all the upgrades possible.
Yeah, I see Maar like moving across the map here and there, but it is mostly just poking. He's not going for any dedicated pushes. That was such a juicy Nova.
Absolutely no dodging there from Maar, and the Nova hits right in the middle of the road, just taking out a lot of them. And that was a beautiful shot for Lochka.
I want to replay this. I want to go back to this replay and just play that back on slow-mo, and that was beautiful. Now, there is an argument to be made that at this point in the game, Maar does want to get rid of his roaches in order to get more Lings, Ultras, eventually Infestors, as we do have Neural Parasite on the way, but I mean, you don't just want to be throwing them away like that.
Yeah, definitely was hoping for a little bit more damage, but it looks like the Disruptors have surprised him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, in the previous few games,
Oh.
Lochka has been opting for more Colossus.
Yeah, cool. I forgot to switch the scene back. They didn't see the explosion. No.
Well,
Ah.
that's you're gonna have to take a word for that, chat. You know what?
You know what?
I saw the explosion, and that's
You know
all
what?
that
This
matters.
is the last game we're gonna go into the replay, just so I can show you to you.
Yeah, may as well. Great snipe on the hatchery. A lot more drones starting to fall as well, and Lochka is unchained, untethered. He's hit his final form. He's got his disruptors. He's got all of these archons and immortals. He's gonna go across the map before Maar can get to the end game.
I am so upset. It's all because of the pause.
SMH my head.
We will
just
go
got
back in the
picked.
replay just to see that explosion.
Yep. That's all that matters. We'll see it in slow-mo as well, so it'll be
Yes.
cinematic. Huge clash coming down in the middle of the map. This is such a good choke point for Lochka to utilize. Ultras are getting on top of everything, but just melting. Infestors are now out just as the rest of the army melts. Fungals, Neurals, not going to be helpful at this point. Everything Zerg is starting to fall. A lot of Lings are now in production. And there's a splash damage here other than these disruptors, but I feel like at this point, there's just way too much beef in the Protoss army, in the Protoss bowl,
I mean,
that even Lings aren't going to be able to
again,
do much.
this is a big bowl of Protoss, and that is just enough for Lochka. He will be taking game number 5 and the finals of Sea Duckling Open number 126. But now, quickly rewind. Where is it? Where are the controls?
Gee. I foolishly left the game, so you have to tell me when you're back in there so I can.
I'm just gonna look, guys. Yaku, please talk about the game as I try to set
Yeah,
up
so
the
you see
replay.
that the thing about that game that we just saw. I mean, that was a great series by both of our players. Very, very close. Went all the way to the ace match. But you know, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, there's only one player. You know, Lochka, he's a player who has been known to win games, and he can lose games as well. But he is a player who wins games in the end. Maar, I mean, obviously he's a player who can win games as well, but he can also lose them. So that's really Maar for you in the end. Only one player could end up advancing. There's only one winner that is possible, unfortunately, in a competition like this or in a match like this. And you know, the player who doesn't win is not the player who has won. That's just really how it goes. You know, it really comes back to all of the advantage that it comes down. You know, Maar, he set up a really nice advantage for himself in the earlier maps that we had in this series. But you know, in the end, there's only one. In the end, you know, he didn't. His advantage was taken away from him by Lochka over there, and you know, when once more didn't have the lost his advantage, he just didn't have an advantage anymore. That's just kind of how it goes. I just got DM'd that told me to switch scenes. A little late, but we got on it in the end. Now looking at the stream, because I too want to see this. I too want to see this this Nova pop off. We're getting there. It's coming down. We have it coming down. We're in slow-mo. We're zoomed in. The Nova! Skadoosh! Beautiful. And with that, that was the finals.
I was actually this was fun. Like I enjoyed this tournament. Those were some really good games, and what I liked the most, those are some really non-standard games. We got a lot of different playstyles, like a lot of wild playstyles as well, and that's the kind of tournament I enjoy the most.
Yeah, a lot of variety, a lot of things that really shook up the mold quite a bit, and it's not just a lot of variety in the sense that we had a lot of players, which obviously we did. This was one of the higher turnouts that we've had, I think, in Sea Duckling Open, at least in 2024. So that definitely helped a lot, but also our players themselves that we were able to cast and cover also had a lot of different styles and strategies up their sleeves.
Also, I might have also been muted for the past minutes. It's okay. Nothing is falling apart. So again,
yeah,
check out the Patreon. Once again, shout out to Legoland Man, who did get the random raffle win as well. So make sure to join the Matcherinos as well. And yeah, as a reminder, this is a monthly tournament. So if you are of the rank Diamond and below, then make sure to keep an eye out for the next tournament, which will be in September. The exact date, you can probably see it on the calendar by now, but it's not like set in stone, because it depends also on what other tournaments are currently going on, because we generally try not to clash with other events. But yeah, other than that, also if you are slightly higher than the rank of Diamond, if you are below 4.7k MMR, then make sure to check out Masters 1 Open, which is our other amateur tournament.
Yeah, that one's, like you said, slightly higher for, some of our higher players coming out there. Up to 4.7k MMR is what that one is, and it's still a really fun time. It's the general overall format and everything is the same. It's just, we're open to slightly more players because of that.
Yeah, I hope
there is also a raffle in there, which
each tournament has
I'll end up winning.
No
Fingers crossed.
No, you're not getting.
Fingers crossed.
But speaking of Yaku, why don't you tell the chat who you are?
Yes. Well, as you can see, I am, I was born at one point, and, when you're born, it's
do you have an advantage?
You're alive, and then you keep going. I do have an advantage. I have many advantage.
Oh.
I have ads.
Ah. So what are you up to, Yaku, lately?
Potentially. A lot of Heroes of the Storm, which, might potentially stream. Potentially. A lot of Heroes of the Storm lately coming down, trying and failing to find gainful employment, but in about 2 weeks, I can't promise that there is going to be at least one stream, and that was part of my ulterior motive of coming up here, Korobi. I think I messed something up on my OBS. But yes, in 2 weeks, we're going to have a little bit of a special stream, so keep an eye out on that over at twitch.tv at yakuzaku1. Follow me on twitter.com at emporayakuzaku, or also Blue Sky at JesseYakuzaku. I'll announce it there when I do go live, and also on Discord, !Discord in the chat.
Yes,
I won't announce when I go live, but the bot will.
Yeah, the bot will, definitely. Anyway, so thank you for Yakuzaku. Thank you for joining me for this quest on this tournament today. Meanwhile, if you want to follow me specifically, then check out the Twitch TV/16squad Sanseki, where I may stream games other than StarCraft. We will see, but generally not. It's more of a chill stream than anything. But if you are interested in what you've seen today, if you are interested in StarCraft, and if you are interested in the competition, in the casting, then make sure to follow the CranKy Ducklings. We are live here on pretty much every day. Like, we're For the past week it was slightly lighter, but in general our schedule is daily streams. Usually you will see light here. I'm only casting the amateur tournaments at the moment. And make sure to follow us on socials to know what we are up to. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, Blue Sky. Most importantly, we have Discord. Discord is the hub of all the information that we do. So if you have any questions or want to just join the community, then make sure to go to the Discord. Also, for those who don't know, we are currently dual streaming to both Twitch and YouTube. So if you want to watch on either of those platforms, feel free. And the VODs are available on both of those platforms, right as the stream is still live, actually. So if you missed any of the matches and want to check them out, you can do so there.
Yeah.
Yaku, have I missed anything?
There was this, happy belated birthday, crew!
Hey, I'm old. Our next stream... We're all old. Our next stream, if I'm not wrong, I don't think we have any other tournaments today. I mean, the schedule is always dynamic, but as far as I know, our next stream should be tomorrow. The same time as the Sea Duckling Open, we have Sparkling Tuna Cup, which is a weekly tournament open to everyone. So no matter what your skill level is, no matter how much you actually play the game, like if you literally just install the game today, you are also eligible technically. There are no requirements whatsoever, so if you want to try your best at the tournament, then feel free to sign up for tomorrow.
Yeah, try your best. It's a fun time. You get a little bit of kind of exposure to a more competitive setting. Your pro players playing that, of course, and most importantly, you can win the raffle.
You can potentially win the raffle, yes. Again, the raffle is completely random, so who gets it? We do not know. But with that, I believe that is all for today. I'm looking for my memory, but as we know, it's not very good. I mean, it's that age, right?
Yeah. It all hits us.
Yeah. But anyway, I hope you guys had fun and played the game, or watched the game, or check out other games.
Hey, you gotta be playing the game, you know?
Yeah, you have to be playing the game, because if you don't play the game, you cannot win. But you also cannot lose.
Yeah. That is also true, but you know what? When you're not playing the game, how do you play?
Then you're not a player if you don't play the game.
Exactly.
And how do you get an advantage in a game if you don't play the game?
That was the advantage all along.
Anyway, guys, we will see you next time. I will see you in like 2 weeks, I think, for Masters 1 Open. So if you want to hear me casting once again, make sure to check that out. And come join us tomorrow when Light will be casting.
Yeah.
With that,
It's a good time.
bye.
Bye.